Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. What's that? Yeah.
Wait. Okay. Now I heard something. I'm hearing something through here.
You hear me?
Yeah, I heard the testing 1 2 3.
Oak Ridge High School baseball coming up in a few short moments on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio. We are live at Kingsport Dobyns-Bennett High School. As I said a moment ago, we are not allowed to broadcast live video from the Oak Ridge ball games, but we will broadcast the boys game, the baseball game against Elder, Ohio, coming up in the second game of this series. We're just moments away. The two teams are getting ready. Oak Ridge and Dobyns-Bennett, a tradition in football, basketball, and other sports. Lee Wexler joins me here. Lee, you have the starting lineups for the ball game.
Yes, David, let's go over the starting lineup. First for Oak Ridge, leading off in center field, Warren East in the 2-hole, and catching Parker Free. In the 3-hole at third base, Mikey Teasley batting fourth. And at first base, Joseph Webb batting fifth. In left field, Carson Fagan batting sixth. In right field, Brooks Poteet batting seventh. At second base, Jaden Cheverton batting eighth. And DHing's Cam Welch. And batting ninth at shortstop is Noah Wood. Pitching for Oak Ridge, David, is Braylon Payne. Let's flip it over. Let's look at the starting lineup for Dobyns-Bennett. Leading off at shortstop, Maddox Martin. Batting second. In right field, Andrew Riley. Batting third and catching, Taylor Blankenship. Batting fourth at first, Cam Hayworth. Batting fifth, the DH, TJ Maxwell. Batting sixth in center field, Caden Cutlip. Batting seventh at third, Gabe Edwards. Batting eighth in left field, Jalen Thomas. Batting ninth. And at second base is Tate Wernke. Pitching for Dobyns-Bennett is Cooper Gallion. I read that as Gallion, David.
Braylon Payne comes into this game 1-1. He is a freshman. His win was over. His first win as a varsity player came against Providence Academy out of Johnson City. His loss came to the Science Hill Hilltoppers. That game played at Bobby Hopkins Field in Oak Ridge. Both teams huddling before this game. We are just doing live radio. That's Dobyns-Bennett does not allow live videos, so we will switch to video when the Elder ball game starts a little bit later on today. I'm sure we're just moments away. Beautiful facility here. Anybody who's ever been to Dobyns-Bennett at a football game, as you're looking down from the press box, the right side of the field is part of the baseball field. They just take down the wall out in the outfield, and then they play football on it. As you can see, you can't see it in this game, but as you will see, you'll see the lines of the football field on the baseball field a little bit later on. Lee, I know you played high school baseball. Did you ever play at this field?
No, we never played up here this way, but my high school coach was actually from this area, and he knew a lot of the coaches. So we actually played Dobyns-Bennett when I was in high school in Science Hill as well. So this is one of the more unique setups in high school baseball, as you were just touching on. The football stadium and baseball stadium is basically combined into one, and it's all turf. And you can't see it now because we're not video streaming, but if you watch later for the Elder ball game, you'll be able to see how the end zone for football is painted. Again, it's turf. It comes into the infield, so it's a strange setup here. But no, you asked me if I had ever played here. The answer to that was no. But this is a unique setup here, and good for us. We are in the shade, and that's great.
Oak Ridge's starting lineup is being introduced down on the field. We'll have the national anthem in a moment. I'm going to put down the mic here and let the PA announcer talk. Oak Ridge and Dobyns-Bennett here from Kingsport. We'll be back on our YouTube channel, audio only today, at least in the first game. We'll be back in a moment.
Number 5, Carson Bacon. Batting 6th, right fielder. Number 9, Brooks Poteet. Batting 7th, second baseman. Number 13, Jaden Cheverton. Batting 8th, designated hitter. Number 23, Camden Welch. And batting 9th, shortstop. Number 1, Noah Wood. On the mound today for the Wildcats, number 12, Braylon Payne. The Wildcats are led by head coach Travis Free and assisted by Kevin McKeithen, Jeremiah Ball, and Kyle Geary. And now, the starting lineup for the Dobyns-Bennett Indians. Leading off, shortstop, number 9, Maddox Martin. Batting second, right fielder, number 3, Andrew Riley. Batting third, catcher, number 6, Taylor Blankenship. Batting fourth, first baseman, number 21, Cam Hayworth. Batting fifth, designated hitter, number 14, TJ Maxwell. Batting sixth, center fielder, number 2, Caden Cutler. Batting seventh, third baseman, number 5, Gabe Edwards. Batting eighth, left fielder, number 1, Jalen Thomas. Batting ninth, second baseman, number 10, Tate Warnke. Pitching today for the Indians, number 25, Cooper Gallion. The Indians are led by head coach Ryan Wagner and assisted by Rodney Burton, David Earls, Bo Burton, and Josh Lucas. And now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please rise if able and remove your caps as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
And we're just moments away from Oak Ridge High School baseball taking on the Dobyns-Bennett Indians here in Kingsport. We appreciate you, our broadcast partners, with us all season long. Laura Lynn Green with State Farm Insurance, Sexton Automotive of Oak Ridge, East Tennessee Spine and Sport. We're also sponsored by Todd Fox and the Fox Insurance Group. We appreciate them, obviously. Mike Kelly with Betsy Coleman Realty, and, of course, people who have donated to us. Some of them are anonymous, but of course we have the Fagan family down in Amarillo, Texas, who have donated to our broadcast so they can watch their grandchildren. We'll be checking in with the stream periodically. We cannot stream the video in the first ball game. Dobyns-Bennett does not allow live video streaming, as I've said, but we will be able to stream the Elder ball game. They take on the Wildcats immediately following this game. They are out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Wildcats won yesterday's ball game against the defending AAA state champion Green Devils 8-4 in a game that was very highly contested for the first 4 or 5 innings. Then the Wildcats broke it open. The big hit was the grand slam home run by the Vanderbilt commit, Joe Webb. Warren East is getting ready to step onto the home plate area, and we're about to have baseball for you here from Kingsport, doing a little radio. This is what I've done my whole life, Lee, so this is nothing unusual. I kind of call the baseball games, even on the streams, like radio, just because it's what I've done for 600 years. But so hopefully the fans back wherever they might be listening or watching will be able to understand what's going on.
Yeah, and right now for Dobyns-Bennett, they're throwing a little stocky lefty, Cooper Gallion for Dobyns-Bennett, a little lefty, just kind of throwing maybe in the mid-70s right there. Dave, we've got a great setup right here.
Here's Warren East. He's going to step in. The Wildcats are wearing their all-black jersey with white baseball pants, white numerals, Dobyns-Bennett in their white uniforms, and maroon. Warren steps in, and the first pitch of the ball game is high a ball, and we are underway from Kingsport. What great facilities they have for football. As I look off to my left, as usual, is that enormous stadium just to our left. And part of this baseball field is part of that football complex. Pitch to Warren is low and inside. 2 balls and no strikes. In games like this, I know Oak Ridge plays Farragut on Monday and Wednesday. Those are district ball games for Oak Ridge, and I'll come back to my point in a moment. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Hit on the ground. That's a base hit in the left field. Good start for the Wildcats as Warren hits a 2-0 pitch between the gap of third base and the shortstop. Good start for Oak Ridge.
Yeah, good start. Got a 2-0 count, got something to hit, and just got to pass the left side of the third baseman right there. Good to get the leadoff guy on.
Parker Free will step in to bat for the Wildcats. I see a lot of his family members are from here. His family is from up here, and he's got a lot of family members watching this ball game. Runner at first with good speed, leads the team in stolen bases. That's Warren East, and Parker takes a high strike, a little bit above the belt, and the count is 1 ball and no strikes. Beautiful day. We had some rain at the end of our game yesterday. We fortunately got out of there before it actually came down a deluge. Let's see if Warren goes on this pitch. Nope. Pitch to Parker is hit in the air to center field. Let's see the shortstop back. It's going to be the center fielder who comes in and makes the catch at the 10-yard line, and that is out number 1.
Yeah, Caden Cutlip, the center fielder for Dobyns-Bennett, had to go a long way. And I know we're not video streaming, but if you're at third and shortstop, you are in the end zone, and then left field, you're playing at the 40-yard line. So a unique setup here. Let's see, who do we have here? We got Mikey Teasley up to bat.
Mikey had a double yesterday, scored the first run of the ball game in the win over Greenville. Warren's going on the first pitch. They've got him picked off, and he's in a rundown. And he doesn't avoid the tag, and the Wildcat base runner is erased. So good start for the Wildcats, but now they're 2 outs. And I thought Warren would go on the first pitch on the previous batter, but he took off just a little bit too soon. There's 2 outs.
Yeah, and as a lefty, when you're stealing, you're going first move, and so the pitcher there for Dobyns-Bennett just threw over to first, and Warren got in a run down there, 2 outs.
Mikey steps in. 2 outs, no count on him as yet. Here's the pitch. It's outside corner for a called strike, and the count is 1 ball and no strikes. One of the better parts about this, and Preston will agree with me, is we're undercover, kind of like we were at Fairhope, if you remember, in Alabama, where we were underneath a canopy. So we are definitely not sitting out in the sun. It is a sunny day here. Mikey takes a ball. That evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Pitch to the plate. Hit foul. Off to the right side. Well out of play. Kind of interesting how they've got this covered stands here in front of us, but I see a lot of the Dobyns-Bennett people sitting on a little rise above their bullpen to our right, and there's people above towards the football stadium to our left watching, and not in these bleachers. There's a lot of carpenter bees in here for sure. 1-2 pitch. That's outside and high. Have you ever seen a high school football field with as big a stands as Dobyns-Bennett has?
No, I haven't. It's one of the larger, I guess, football venues that I've seen in the state.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Mikey. The pitch is outside again. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Yesterday we had a left-hander in the Greenville ball game who picked off a couple of the Wildcat runners in kind of the same fashion that Warren was picked off just a moment ago. 3-2 pitch to the Tennessee commit upcoming. Here it comes. Hit coming back our way and out of play. Hits the stands just to our right. And Preston will know this, but if Dylan were here, he would be flinching, would he not?
Yeah, he would.
3 balls and 2 strikes. Mikey Teasley will be followed by Joseph Webb in the Wildcat lineup. We're in the top of the first, no score. 2 outs, the first. Here's the pitch. Cut on a miss, and Mikey goes down swinging for the 3rd out of the inning. So the Wildcats pick up a base hit with Warren East, but he's picked off. We go to the bottom half of the first inning, live from Kingsport Dobyns-Bennett High School, Kingsport, Tennessee. The Dobyns-Bennett Indians coming to bat. We'll be back on our YouTube channel, audio only in the first ball game. We will have video in the second game against Elder. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back once again to Kingsport Dobyns-Bennett High School. We go to the bottom half of the first inning. Parker Freeze, long throw down to second, and the Indians will lead things off.
Maddox Martin, this is the shortstop.
As the Indians and the Wildcats, as I mentioned earlier, and I'm going to say it several times. I know people who are, used to our broadcast. I just want to say we will have live video in the second game. That'll be against Elder out of Ohio. Dobyns-Bennett does not allow us to do video, so that's why you're just seeing the scoreboard that Preston Fitters is handling. The freshman's first pitch is high and tight, and the bottom of the first is underway. Braylon comes in, another one high. 2 balls and no strikes. Braylon, his first win was at Farragut against Providence Academy in that tournament around spring break time. There's a called strike. As you can see, Braylon, he hits about 85 to 87 with his fastball. He's a freshman, big, tall, rangy kid. He comes in, hit on the ground, foul. He's a good-looking prospect. Some people have said he kind of has the same kind of stuff that Mikey did when he was a freshman.
Yeah, I was watching him warm up. It looked like the fastball was definitely in the 80s. Definitely doesn't look like a freshman from up here.
If you see his faces, he's got kind of a baby face. As that pitch is cut on and missed, and that's a strikeout. The freshman has his first K. Braylon comes in at 1-1 on the year. Braylon suffered a football injury down at Bradley Central. He was the starting long snapper, even as a freshman for the Wildcats, and he got hurt at the Bradley Central ball game. And obviously, I'm not saying he's not going to play football his whole career, as that ball is hit well to right, very deep, very gone. And it's 1-0 Kingsport Dobyns-Bennett. One pitch, and that ball clears the fence. It's a short porch out in right field at 297, and it's 1-0. And, that's the kind of thing, Lee, that, a freshman facing a powerhouse program like this, his teammates, the upperclassmen, came immediately out to tell him it's okay. We're in the first inning, and this is a good team. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that ball was crushed. I know it's only 297 to right, but that ball was just served up. And, at this level, it doesn't really matter how hard you throw. If you serve up a high school hitter a fastball, he can hit it anywhere. He can catch up to it.
Taylor Blankenship, the batter now. Dobyns-Bennett on top 1-0 as we play in this non-district ball game live from Kingsport. Very comfortable, actually, sitting in the shade We've got most of our video stuff set up for the next ball game. Took something off on that pitch, and the count is 0-1. 1-0 on a long home run to right field. Wildcats trailing. I guess Preston's keeping up with the scoreboard as usual. I would expect him to. There's a called strike. Wildcats picked up a base hit in their top half of the first inning, but failed to score. Braylon's pitch just a little bit outside, set up nicely by Parker Free. Let me set the defense for you. I'll do it after this pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pitch. Cut on a miss. That's his second strikeout. At first base, we got Joseph Webb. The shortstop is Noah Wood. The second baseman is Jaden Cheverton. Mikey Teasley is at third. The outfield consists of Carson Fagan in left field. Warren East is in center. In right field is Brooks Poteet, and Parker Free is behind the plate.
Cam Hayworth is the hitter.
Braylon's first pitch is a breaking pitch in there for a called strike. Got a few fans on up the road here in Kingsport here. Some students as well to our left. Here's the pitch. It's hit in the air high. Foul territory. Joseph gives it a long look, and he can't quite make it. Good run. That's a long run for the first baseman. He was almost 250 feet out there, but just couldn't quite catch it.
Yeah, Joe had to go a long way there, and Brooks Petit out there and right, I thought maybe, on a ball hit that deep, he would have the better angle. He's running in, and Joe, that's a tough play because he has to run basically backwards and to his left, and he was, about a foot from catching the ball.
Just a long strike, no balls and 2 strikes. Braylon Payne, the pitcher for the Wildcats, has 2 strikeouts for his 2 outs, and he's also given up a home run. That pitch is high and outside. You can see, Parker's probably one of the smarter players we've had in a long time. Obviously, he's a coach's son, but he sets up, he works the plate inside, outside. Here's the pitch, hit in the air. Foul territory. Long run once again. There's a lot of foul territory. Parker didn't pick it up right away, and Joe's probably exhausted from the previous foul ball that he had to run to, and he just drops harmlessly. There is a lot of foul territory here.
Yeah, there's a lot of foul territory. The dugouts are, what would you say, it almost looks like it's 90 feet away from home plate, and Joe is definitely getting his conditioning in. And I will say, David, there are a lot of bumblebees around here.
I think they're carpenter bees, so I don't think they're going to sting you. 1-2 pitch, hit on the ground. That's a base hit. In the right center field, just put the bat on it and put it through the hole, and that's the second hit of the ball game for the Kingsport Dobyns-Bennett Indians.
Now batting number 14, TJ Maxwell.
This will be the DH, TJ Maxwell.
Who's he hitting for?
He will be hitting for the pitcher.
Okay. Do we have the pitcher's name?
Cooper Gallion.
Okay. Just making sure you up to speed here. Braylon's a right-hander. The freshman comes in, pitches hit in the air on the infield. Mikey Teasley should catch it right around the bag, and he does for out number 3. So the Indians pick up a run on a long home run to right field. We go to the top half of the second inning here at Kingsport Dobyns-Bennett High School up in Kingsport, Tennessee. My name is David Clary, along with Lee Wexler, Preston Fetters, along with Oliver Poggle. We're audio only in the first ball game. We'll have video for you in the second ball game, which start somewhere around 7 o'clock. I'm going to put the mic down. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back once again to Kingsport Dobyns-Bennett. Wildcats trailing at 1-0. Joseph Webb leads things off for the Wildcats. And the first pitch to him is down low, a ball. Yeah. Joe, a right-handed hitting junior, steps in. Here's the pitch. That one's outside corner for a called strike. And the count is even at 1-1 strike. One ball, one strike. Pitch. Hit foul right at the plate. And the count is 1-2 strikes. You can see the track team working out to our left here at Kingsport. Kind of wonder, I guess when baseball season's going, I guess they can still practice here on the baseball field if they have spring practice on this field. 2-strike pitch is hit in the air, right side, foul, but well out of play. When we first got here, wasn't anybody to unlock the doors to let us in, because when we got here, it takes a while for us to set up all of our equipment. But then finally somebody let the baseball team in, and we followed in. We've been enjoying the shade ever since. 1-2 strikes to Joe. The pitch hit in the air to center field, medium center field, back a couple steps. And the center fielder, it's a high fly ball. It finally comes down, and he makes the catch for out number 1. Better now will be Carson Fagan. Carson, senior. Wildcats have 5 seniors on the team, and Carson Fagan is one of them. Mikey Teasley, Tri Sharp, Dylan Skeens, and as soon as I started naming them, I have forgotten Cheeto. That would be Camden Welch, the other senior on the team. Carson steps in. 1 out here in the second inning. Pitch to him is outside and low, a ball. As I mentioned, Elder, Ohio, out of the Cincinnati area, will be the second game. We'll have that broadcast for you as well. 1-0 pitch to Carson, cut on and missed. The count is even at 1-1 strike. Oak Ridge's dugout is down to our left. Dobyns-Bennett's to our right. Wildcats wearing their black jerseys. Dobyns-Bennett wearing white and maroon. 1 out here in the second. The pitch to Carson, hit well, and it's in the gap. It's going to be tracked down. No, he can't make the play. Carson's got at least 2. Here comes the throw in, and that is a double. Great effort by the left fielder out there by Kingsport's, their left fielder. Almost made a great play. Took a dive for it, just couldn't quite make the play, and it's a 1-out double.
Yeah, Jalen Thomas, the left fielder for Dobyns-Bennett, great effort. He had to go a long way to his left, and that ball was well struck by Carson Fagan. 1-out double.
Here's Brooks Poteet batting. Lefty versus lefty here. Brooks yesterday picked up a base hit in the ball game. Another junior playing right field today for the Wildcats. He's a transfer out of Powell High School, for those of you tuning in for the first time. Carson with good speed at second base. 1-0 Dobyns-Bennett. Pitch hit on the ground to the second baseman, and on one throw, on one hop, he throws it on to first for out number 2. So Brooks picked on the first pitch and grounds out. So it's going to be up to Jaden Cheverton, the sophomore, playing second base today. Jaden did not play in the field yesterday, did not bat. He did pitch in relief of Cam Welch, as Carson is the base runner at third base. If you throw a wild pitch or a pass ball in this park, you're going to score, because there's so much behind the plate. As Jaden takes a strike, no balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, Oak Ridge hitters maybe need to be a little bit patient at the plate. Gallion not going to overpower anybody, but he is throwing strikes, and he is getting ahead in the count. So there are going to be pitches to hit. So Oak Ridge hitters maybe a little out front so far.
Jaden back in. The pitch to him is hit into the left field, center field. That's a base hit and an RBI. Jaden Cheverton ties the ball game. A good job of hitting. You exactly what he just did is exactly what Lee said. He was very patient, wasn't over swinging a bit, just poked it into left center field, and the Wildcats have tied the ball game.
Yeah, exactly what I said. He's going to give you something to hit. Just stay back, use the whole field, and he's going to give you something to hit. And let's see, who do we have? We have Cam Welch right here, who's a lefty, and remind our listeners, 297 to right.
Cam has some power. He didn't start playing until the spring break because of injury, and he's got power, and he gets hit in the back. So not much of a velocity on the pitch, but I'm sure Cam will tell you it still hurt. And the Wildcats have runners at first and second, and the batter will be the shortstop, Noah Wood. There are 2 outs. The Wildcats have scored on the RBI single by Jaden Cheverton. Wildcats trying to score again with 2 outs. 2 on. Cam Welch, the base runner. I think he's the designated hitter today for Braylon. The lead runner is Jaden Cheverton. He's got average speed. Here's the pitch to Noah. And it's just a little low, I guess. And the count, you're right about these bees. They are everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, they are fighting, and really no one else here seems to be worried. I mean, the Dobyns-Bennett folks are just acting like they're not here.
Carpenter bees, there are carpenter bees, and like I said, they do not sing, but they do look like bumblebees as that pitch is down low. 2 balls and no strikes. Wildcats and Dobyns-Bennett Indians live here from Kingsport, audio only in the first ball game. I'm going to say that till I'm blue in the face. We will have video in the second ball game. We appreciate Dylan Woody for helping with our stream today. Again, ball hit off the hands, foul to the right. And Noah still ahead in the count, 2 balls and 1 strike. Wildcats plating a run here in the second. They hit a solo home run for their only run, Kingsport did, in the first inning. Cheverton, the lead runner at second. Noah back in, 2-1 pitch. Hit on the ground to the shortstop. He fields it, flips it on for the force out at second of Cam Welch. And the second inning, top of the second, comes to a close. But the Wildcats do tie it on the RBI single by Jaden Cheverton. We go to the bottom half of the second inning here at Kingsport Dobyns-Bennett High School. Oak Ridge and Dobyns-Bennett tied at 1. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back once again to Kingsport Dobyns-Bennett High School. We go to the bottom half of the second inning.
Number 2, Caden Cutlet.
As you can hear the PA announcer who is right above me. The speakers, I'm not exactly sure. The speakers are right above us too, as we're sitting at the very top row of this facility. We've described it a little bit. Part of the baseball field is on the football field. In fact, it goes all the way to about the 40-yard line. About 60 yards. There's a full 50 and then there's another 10 on the other side. And as Braylon Payne begins his second inning of work, and his first pitch is a strike. The football stadium is immediately to our left, the big bleachers and such. And we're sitting under a canopy as the ball hit to center field softly. Warren quickly in, makes the catch. Warren East, obviously, as I said, 3/4 of the world is covered by water. The other is covered by Warren East. He makes a nice play out in center field. Got a good jump on it, and that's the key off the bat. Warren's got good speed, and that's out number 1.
Yeah, that's what I noticed. He had a good jump. A Cutlip kind of threw his hands at it, hit it off the end of the bat. It wasn't hit very far. And, yeah, good play.
One out here in the second and a 1-1 ball game. The pitch is outside a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. Remember this coming week, Monday, the Wildcats will take on Farragut. Monday and Wednesday, the Monday games at Bobby Hopkins. The ball is hit deeper to center. This time Warren back about 2 steps, and he makes another catch. And they're giving Warren a workout here in the second inning, and that is out number 2. Monday's game is at Bobby Hopkins Field in Oak Ridge, and I know all students at Oak Ridge High School will be admitted free in that ball game. Then on Wednesday we go to Farragut to take on the Admirals. We'll have both games for you on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio. Getting close to the end of the season. These are the final 2 district ball games, Monday and Wednesday. There's a called strike. Brother's just throwing strikes.
Yeah, he is, and from where we're sitting, we have a great view of the strike zone. Tough to tell down or high, but we've definitely got a good view of what's inside and what's out.
That's definitely out, and the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. Nobody on, 2 outs here in the bottom half of the second inning in a 1-1 ball game. Braylon Payne comes in just a little bit high, I think. 2-1 the count. A lot of Oak Ridgers have made the trip. We have a few more fans than we did last night at Greenville, I think. Not a good time. There's a base hit right up the middle. And for Dobyns-Bennett, that'll be, I believe, their 3rd hit of the ball game.
And number 10, Tate Warnke.
Tate Warnke, the 9-hole hitter, and playing second base.
If you look at their players, they've got some size. About everybody who has come to the plate for Dobyns-Bennett's got some good size. Wildcats, despite the fact, they're 25-2-1 on the year, they only have 5 seniors, as I mentioned. And they have a lot of sophomores that contribute. Jaden Sheverton being one who knocked in the Wildcat run as Braylon comes high and tight with the first pitch. They don't really have the physical size that these Dobyns-Bennett guys and the Greenville guys had last night. Wildcats have some youngsters playing. You got, as I look at the infield, there's only 1 senior in the entire infield right now for the Wildcats, and that would be Mikey Teasley at third. Pitch is on the inside corner at the knees. Evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Wildcats have 2 juniors in the outfield and 1 senior. So the Wildcats have a total of 3 seniors in the lineup, with Cam Welch being the designated hitter. Throw over to first, back to the bag he goes. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the second inning in a 1-1 ball game. Parker with a sign, runner going, hit foul, back to the screen. Okay, we're going to do this. Anybody who's listening to our broadcast, let us know where you're listening to us from and what you think about the radio coverage of our broadcast. This just radio, obviously. You can see the scoreboard, obviously, but Dobbins-Bennett does not allow us to do live video. I know we've gotten people who have been saying, how come we can't see it? They do not allow the live videos. 2-strike pitch is high and tight. 2 balls and 2 strikes. I ought to preserve my voice just a bit because we've got a doubleheader and then a game at 10 o'clock in the morning tomorrow against Jefferson County. I think that's the scheduled team. Runner at first for the Indians. 2 balls, 2 strikes. See if he goes on this pitch. Nope. High and tight once again. Back-to-back pitches inside. Full count now. Braylon Payne with a 3-2 pitch. Runner going. Pitch is high, and that's ball 4. So back to the top of the order we go, and that's a guy right there that Braylon wanted to get, but he just couldn't find the zone. And they've got runners at first and second, and Maddox Martin, the batter.
Yeah, Martin struck out swinging his first at bat, and a good 2 quick outs from Braylon Payne here, but he's given up a sharp single up the middle and then a walk to the 9 holes. That could be a recipe for trouble.
Runners at first and second. The freshman working from the stretch. Pitch is outside. A good stop by Parker, keeping it from going to the backstop. As I said, there is probably, I don't know, it's 60 feet maybe not quite 60 from the backstop to the home plate area. So any pass ball or wild pitch, runners are advancing. They could get 2 1 ball, no strikes. The pitch. That's a called strike at the belt. Outer half of the plate evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Mike Sheehan listening to our broadcast now. Thank you, Mike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Braylon checks the runner at second. Sneaks off just a bit. Fakes the throw back there, but the Wildcats didn't have anybody covering the bag. 1 ball, 1 strike. Oliver Poggle's here with us, along with Preston Fetters. They'll be doing some camera work and such in the second game. That pitch is up high. 2 balls and 1 strike. I see Coach Ball down in the Oak Ridge dugout. He's the pitching coach. He's got his clipboard up, and he's kind of pacing back and forth. So I look down to my left. Braylon has the sign from Parker. Ball hit on the ground. Shortstop Noah Wood fields it. Goes the short route. They've got the force out at second base for out number 3. The ball was hit on the button, but Noah was up to the task. We go to the top of the 3rd inning. We're in Kingsport at Dobyns-Bennett High School. The Wildcats and the Indians are tied at 1. And we'll be back to Kingsport in a moment. David Clary back here along with Lee Wexler, Preston Fetters, and Oliver Poggle. The Wildcats
Leading off for Oak Ridge.
come to the plate here in the top of the 3rd inning. Got the top of the order, leading things off Warren East. Warren led off the ball game with a sharp single. Was picked off, though, attempting to steal second. 1 for 1 in the ball game. Going to Youngstown State. That's where he's committed to. He's a junior, but that's where he says he wants to play ball. And we wish him the best of luck, but not for a while. And Warren's hit on the first pitch. That's the second guy that has been plunked by Gallion in this game. Cam Welch was hit in the previous inning, so a good start. And I'm guessing, Warren leads our team in stolen bases. I believe, Lee, he'll probably be a little bit more cautious taking that lead at first this time.
Yeah, I got picked off back in the first, and, a lefty on the mound, and Gallion might be a little patient this time. This is a good lineup for Oak Ridge, so maybe just let your hitters hit. Be a little patient.
Parker Free, the batter. Runner going. Here's the throw down, and Warren is in with a stolen base. And Warren went head first, got his left hand in under the tag, and the Wildcats have a runner in scoring position. Lee, you've seen enough Oak Ridge ball with Coach Free. He is very aggressive on the base paths.
Yes, he is. And, of course, I was saying, maybe if you're Warren, be a little patient. He goes on the first pitch. So, yeah, that's just kind of shows you the level of aggressiveness they want to play, especially with on the bases.
Pitch to Parker is up high, and the count now is 2 balls and no strikes. We're in the top of the 3rd, 1-1 our score. Parker Free, the batter, right-handed hitting junior. He is committed to play at Kennesaw State University down around Kennesaw, around Marietta, just a little bit north of Atlanta. Warren takes a good lead. The pitch to Parker. Hit in the air. Left side, the left fielder calls for it, and he's under it right at the 35-yard line, and he makes the catch for out number 1. The batter now will be Mikey Teasley. Mikey was a strikeout victim his first time. Runner at second base is Warren East. It wouldn't surprise me here, Lee, if Warren takes off towards third.
No, with his wheels and, with one out, the only thing is, though, you're probably going to score on a hit anyway, so I think, do you stay at second? You're going to score on a hit anyway, and you saw Coach Free mad with Parker there. Flew out to left. He didn't advance the runner with no outs.
Mikey steps in. Good lead by Warren. Causes some distress to the Dobyns-Bennett pitcher. He steps off the mound, still glaring back at his second baseman, who had kind of snuck in a little bit behind him. He's still kind of creeping up towards the bag. Now he retreats back to his spot at second base. Teasley, the batter. Now he comes back once again. Back and forth they go. Here's the pitch to the plate. Hit in the air. That's a can of corn in center field. And that's out number 2. Warren tags. Here comes the throw to third. It's wide of the bag, and Warren advances to third, but Mikey flies out. He's 0 for 2 in the ballgame. And here comes Joseph Webb. Couple fly ball outs, and I think Coach Free, not too happy about that as well.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, maybe maybe need to show a little bit more patience. These are kind of long, lazy fly balls. They're going to get something to hit. It's just one of those. Just stay patient, get something to drive. Usually try, and for me, it was always use the middle of the field.
Here's Joseph with Warren at third. The pitch to him. That's a called strike at the belt. I've already forgotten what Joseph did his first time.
He flew out to center.
Right-handed hitter. Hit a grand slam yesterday in Greenville. The Wildcats 8-4 win. One strike pitch to him is hit foul off the end of the bat over towards the Dobyns-Bennett dugout, which is to our right. And he's behind in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Carson Fagan is on deck for the Wildcats. But there are 2 outs. Warren's the base runner. Got hit, stole a base, moved over to third, but there are 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Joe. Hit on the ground right up the middle to the shortstop. He fields it cleanly, throws in time. Joe went head first with the slide, but he is retired. Wildcats pick up a base runner. They leave him stranded. We go to the bottom half of the third inning. Live here at Kingsport Dobyns-Bennett High School. 2 teams that have been playing ball for many, many years in all sports, football, basketball, baseball, renewing the rivalry here today at Kingsport Dobyns-Bennett, and we will be back to Kingsport in a moment. Welcome back to Kingsport Dobyns-Bennett High School. We appreciate those people who are listening to our audio broadcast. I'll say it again. We cannot do video here at Kingsport, against Kingsport anyway, the Dobyns-Bennett Indians. They don't let us do live streaming in football, basketball, or baseball, or any other sport we do for whatever reason. Even though they're not streaming, they will allow us to stream the second ball game against Elder, so we'll have that for you. There's a called strike. Braylon Payne in his third inning of work in a 1-1 ball game.
This is Andrew Riley, who cleared the tree line out in right field his last at bat.
Braylon very cognizant of that. That one's well outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody on, nobody out. Pitch is hit, foul. Back our way. And over the top of the, Parker made a attempt at it. I forgot there's so much foul territory. Usually in little high school fields, that ball is in the parking lot, but Parker went sliding towards the Oak Ridge dugout, couldn't quite catch up to it. Kennesaw State, I looked up Kennesaw State. I was talking to Parker actually yesterday. Kennesaw State actually has more students than UTK. 51,000 students go to Kennesaw State. Does that surprise you?
Yeah, a little bit. You know, when I worked with you down in Atlanta a couple years ago, most of the students my age, here's the pitch, fouled straight back by Andrew Riley. You know, when I worked with you for a season down in 21 in Atlanta, most of the students my age, they all went to KSU. I didn't know anyone who went to Georgia. Everyone went to KSU, which I thought was amazing.
1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out. Braylon Payne in a 1-1 ball game. The pitch hit on the ground, third base side. Mikey Teasley fumbles it. Noah picks it up. All hands safe. Mikey went far to his left to field it. Didn't come up with it cleanly. And ball kind of caromed over towards Noah Wood, but still not enough time to retire the base runner. And they've got a man on board, on base, with nobody out here in the third inning. That would be the first error of the ball game.
And this would be the catcher, Taylor Blankenship, who struck out swinging his first at bat.
Righty versus righty. Here's the pitch. It's up high. 1 ball, no strikes. This is a Carpenter B Haven. They are all over. I mean, we're not talking about 1 or 2. We're talking 10, 12, just flying all around. But we have some place to lean our back against as that pitch is high and tight. 2 balls and no strikes. He squared the bunt, but I don't think he had any intentions of doing so. And the count is 2 balls and no strikes. He looks down to his third base coach down in he's outside the box. The coaches rarely stand in the coaching box. He's just to the home plate side of it. And he did bunt it. It's going to be fielded by Mikey. Mikey's got time, throws him out, and that is out number 1. So he did bunt it. And I guess what basically the coaching staff is saying is it's going to be a pitcher's deal for the most part, and the runs are going to be at a premium. I don't know if you've watched the Tampa Bay Rays this year. They are bunting all the time. It's a kind of a different strategy for MLB, but that was a good sacrifice, and they've got a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, they do. I haven't watched much Tampa Bay Rays baseball that much, but speaking of interesting decision-making, that was the 3-hole. They just bunted. They sack-bunted the 3-hole hitter, which is not something you really see at anywhere in the game of baseball.
Well, that's kind of what I was saying, basically, is there's a called strike that, Dobbins Bennett's coach is figuring this is going to be a low-scoring ball game, and if they can get anybody into scoring position and maybe get a manufactured run. It's a Carpenter bee, Lee. It will not sting you, I guarantee you. No balls and 1 strike. Pitch. Call strike 2. Breaking pitch on the outside half of the plate, 0-2.
I hope these must be friendly bees, and I assume you're right with them being Carpenter bees.
No balls and 2 strikes, 1 out here in the third. 1-1 our score. Right-handed throwing freshman Braylon Payne facing the left-hander. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Fastball down low, and the count is 1-2. As I say, if you don't mess with them, they won't mess with you. I mean, hornets not so much. I don't want to mess with a hornet around me, but Carpenter bees, all they do is eat wood. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Braylon to the plate. Hit in the left field. That's going to be Carson Fagan making the catch. When he first hit it, I thought it was going to drop in for a hit, but Carson was playing fairly shallow left center field, and an easy out for the senior.
Yeah, that was Cam Hayworth, a lefty batter who drove that. Fagan was just playing in a really good spot. He was shaded pull side out in left field. That ball was driven into left center field. So just to throw strikes and let your defense play, and it's just stuff like that. It'll find a glove. Just throw strikes.
1 ball, 1 or runner at second still. 1-1 our score. The pitch. High and outside. 1 ball, no strikes. 2 outs in the third. Bottom of the third here in Kingsport. If you're just tuning us in, you're wondering why there's no picture. Dobyns-Bennett does not allow a live streaming of their games. So we're running the scoreboard in live audio only. We appreciate their administration for at least allowing us to do that. as the ball's hit to Warren East, and he's got it easily for out number 3. A line drive once again. Warren, several putouts in this ballgame. We go to the 4th inning here at Kingsport Dobyns-Bennett. Oak Ridge and Kingsport are tied at 1. We'll take a break. We'll be back to Dobyns-Bennett High School in a moment. Welcome back once again to Kingsport Dobyns-Bennett High School. We go to the top of the 4th inning in a one ball game. Carson Fagan leads things off for the Wildcats. Carson had a double to the fence his first time. He is 1 for 1 in the ball game. I did learn something. Somebody just messaged me and said that male carpenter bees will come right at you, posturing. They don't have stingers, but the females do. So the ones that don't come towards us, that's the ones we have to worry about. So, but if they're not coming towards us, we don't have to worry about them. There's a slow one, breaking pitch in for the strike, and Carson behind, no balls and 1 strike. Does that make you feel any better?
Well, what doesn't make me feel any better is you're the one who's swatting and hitting them, making them mad.
Pitch to Carson is hit in the air on the infield. First baseman calls for it. It's a high pop. He makes the one-handed grab for out number 1.
Now batting number 9, Brooks Poteet.
Most of the season we have faced some hard throwing. Don't worry about it. It won't mess with you. It is kind of intimidating them flying around us like this, but as Brooks Poteet steps in, Wildcats do need to be a little bit more patient in their at-bats. I mean, he's not throwing hard at all. And the Wildcats have faced a lot of hard throwers this year, and this one's not quite a hard thrower, but he's kind of taking the timing off. There's a base hit. Brooks Poteet, first pitch. He has seen 2 pitches in this game. He grounded 1 for his first out, and then that's a solid single. And with 1 out, Brooks Poteet will be the base runner at first for the Wildcats, and the batter is Jaden Cheverton. Jaden had a RBI single, knocked in the Wildcats' only run. That's the 4th hit of the game for the Wildcats. They've out-hit the Indians 4-3. Sophomore Cheverton steps in for the Wildcats. Poteet got to be careful at first base. Doesn't want to be picked off, but he's liable to go, and he is going to be picked off if they make a good throw, and he is. He's out. And that'll be the 2nd time in the ballgame. Wildcats have gone on the first movement, and that's the 2nd time as well that they've picked off. And Brooks is out number 2. And Jaden will step in for the Wildcats. Sometimes, Coach Cree is a very aggressive coach, as I mentioned. And, things like that happen sometimes. That pitch is high and outside. Of course, Jaden's a very solid hitter. Jaden Cheverton, our batter now, he's a contact guy. He's going to put the ball in play. Doesn't strike out that much. Here's the pitch to him. That's outside a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. 2 outs. We are in the 4th inning here at Dobyns-Bennett in a 1-1 ball game. Their run as a result of a solo home run. The Wildcats run an RBI single by this guy, Jaden Cheverton. 2-0 pitch to him. Hit foul off to the right and out of play. Preston Fetters and Oliver Poggle are with our crew. We'll be doing live video in the Elder ball game coming up. I'll have to figure out when to put the cameras up, as the pitch is a little bit high, borderline pitch. I'm telling you, Lee, you weren't at the Greenville game last night. This umpire behind the plate is so much better than the guy we had at Greenville last night. I don't know if he went to Greenville High School, but for one, he was very biased. But this guy's been really good, very solid for both teams, and you love that. There's ball 4. So a good patient at bat by Jaden Cheverton, and he's been on base twice today. And the batter now will be Cam Welch.
Yeah, Cam Welch was hit by what looked like a 62-mile-an-hour shot put slider almost, so who knows if that'll even leave a mark.
Appreciate Laura Lynn Green with State Farm Insurance. So one of our sponsors, Mike Kelly with Betsy Coleman Realty, Todd Fox and the Fox Insurance Group, Sexton Automotive. Good lead at first by Cheverton, but I think he has seen two of his upperclassmen above him picked off today. Warren East and Brooks Poteet both picked off in this game. Lefty has a good move. He's going to come to the plate, and actually had Jaden heading back to the bag. That pitch is high and tight, and the count is 1 ball and no strikes. I see Coach Free once again signaling to Jaden, who takes a bigger lead this time at first. He's got his foot on the edge of the grass. He draws the throw once again. Not even close. Got a 1 ball, no strike count on the senior Cam Welch. I assume Kyron Welch, his brother, is probably listening to this broadcast. 1-1 our score. We're in the top of the 4th inning. Pitch to Cam. Outside and low. 2 balls and no strikes. Noah Wood is on deck for the Wildcats. Cam is the pinch hitter today. Or the designated hitter, I'm sorry. He's hitting for the pitcher, Braylon Payne. Left-handed hitting senior with power. Takes ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes. 2 pickoffs in a close ball game. Tough. I mean, that's really, really tough. The Wildcats have had 2 guys picked off, and you never know what Jaden would have done, but Wildcats could have had 2 on right now. Let's see, this pitch to Cam is up high, nowhere even close, and that is ball 4. So the Wildcats have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs, and Jaden Cheverton. And the good thing about this, whatever Noah does here, it'll flip the order over for the next inning.
Yeah, it will, and Noah grounded into a 6-4 fielder's choice back in the second. You referenced Oak Ridge, being picked off twice. Galley on the pitcher, he's a lefty for Dobyns-Bennett. It's not really any, secret high-end move over there to first. It's just Oak Ridge trying to be aggressive, and Gallon, he's just picked over at the right time. Not really a fast move home either, and his velocity as a pitcher, it's not really a high velocity. I think the Oak Ridge hitters, they just haven't been able to square up too many balls so far.
Noah steps in. The first pitch to him is outside. 1 ball, no strikes. You're right, he doesn't throw particularly hard, but he has been throwing strikes, and maybe because he hasn't been throwing hard. We faced a lot of hard throwers in our district ball games this year. 1 ball, no strikes. The pitch. Low and inside corner for a called strike. That might be the first pitch I have a little question with, but it was close, borderline. So count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 outs here in the 4th. 1-1 the score. The Wildcats have runners at first and second. Noah the batter. The pitch to Noah Wood is outside corner for a called strike. Travis Free, the head coach of the Wildcats, at the third base coaching box. Kevin McKeithen well beyond the first base coaching box to our right. Noah back in. 1-2 pitch. Hit foul. Over the top of the dugout into the fan area to our right, and the count remains 1-2. Beautiful day for baseball. The last several, almost 20 games we've sat outside in the sun. We are actually under a canopy. If it were rain today, we'd be fine. But it looks like we're going to have great weather. 1-2 pitch to Noah, hit on the ground. Softly, the shortstop, backhand play. Safe. Bases loaded. Infield single. It was deep in the hole and not hit that hard. The shortstop made a good backhand play, just couldn't get enough on the throw, and Noah Wood is able to beat it out. And here comes Warren East with the bases loaded and 2 outs.
Yeah, that ball got real deep in the 6 hole. That's Maddox Martin, the shortstop for Dobyns-Bennett. He did as good as he could, backhanded the ball, threw across the diamond, and good hustle right there by Noah Wood. So we got the bases loaded with 2 outs, top of the order due up, and let's see what Warren East can do here. He already has a single to lead off the game.
I think he was hit by a pitch as well, so he's been on base twice. Bases full of Wildcats in a 1-1 ball game. The pitch to Warren, high and outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Warren will be followed by Parker Free. Parker still hasn't taken off his shin protectors. Warren trying to reach base, drive in a run or 2. Good power. The pitch to him. Couldn't decide to pull the trigger on that one. And it's a strike, and the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Might be the hardest fastball he's thrown.
Yeah, I mean, I'm almost wondering, is he even touching 75? You know, it's not much, but he just issued 2 walks to the 7 and 8 hole hitters, but for the most part, he's peppering strikes in there. In Oak Ridge, they've only barreled maybe, I'd say, 2 or 3 balls so far.
Yeah, Carson's double was barreled up for sure. And Brooks Poteet had a single. Ball's hit foul. Back to the screen, and Warren East behind in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bases loaded for the Wildcats. Jaden Cheverton is the lead runner at third. Cam Welch is at second. Noah Wood is at first. Warren behind in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-1 our score as the Wildcats bat in the 4th. Warren needs to be patient. Steps back in the box, deep in the box. 1-2 pitch. Outside. Pitcher set up outside in the left-handed batter's box, and pitch drifted out that way, and that evens the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Parker's on deck, but it'll take something. Somehow to Warren to reach base. That breaking pitch is hit in the air softly to the second baseman, but it's the right fielder who makes the catch. Kind of an excuse-me swing just to stay alive. And that is out number 3. The Wildcats load the bases, but they leave them stranded. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning here at Kingsport Dobyns-Bennett High School. We're all tied up at 1. We'll be back to Kingsport in a moment. David Clary back here along with Lee Wexler, Preston Fetters, Oliver Poggle. The Wildcats and Dobyns-Bennett Indians are tied at 1 apiece. Lee, the Wildcats, as you gave me a stat just a moment ago, which has got to be a little alarming to Coach Free at this point.
Yeah, so far through 4 innings of offense, 6 guys left on, 2 pickoffs, and then only 1 run on 5 hits so far. So a couple infield hits. They've been hit a couple times. They've been walked a couple times, but right now only 1 run to show for it.
Braylon Payne begins his 4th inning of work. Indians have picked up 3 hits, including a long home run for their only run. That pitch, pretty good looking pitch there. About belt high, maybe a little outside. 1 ball, no strikes. 4th inning, 1-1. The Indians scored in the 1st. That ball is hit to Warren. Warren over to his right. Calls for it, makes the catch for out number 1 here in the 4th inning. Wildcats picked up a solo run themselves in the 2nd inning on an RBI single by Jaden Cheverton.
Yeah, Warren East has been busy out there in center field. That's 4 flyouts. The batter is Gabe Edwards, who flew out to Warren East in center field his last at bat.
Right-handed hitter. Braylon comes to the plate, cut on a miss. Good-looking pitch there. Braylon ahead in the count, no balls and 1 strike. I see Mike Friels, his grandfather, down in front of us. Always good to have Big Mike coming off of ankle replacement surgery, which I have never heard of. I've heard of hip replacement. I've heard of knee replacement, but ankle replacement I have not. And he's on crutches, but he's here watching his grandson. That pitch is hit foul over towards the parking lot. Just a little bit shy of a silver van to our right and out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody aboard. We are in the bottom of the 4th inning in a 1-1 ball game. Payne comes in, hit on the ground softly. Mikey's going to feel it. No shot, but he does try. His best shot may have been just to see if it would go foul. The ball wasn't hit that hard. Mikey, with his great arm, still wasn't able to get it over to first in time. Little soft infield single for the Dobyns-Bennett Indians.
Yeah, there really wasn't much of a swing either from Edwards, just a little half-hearted, a little slow roller to Mikey. And you're right, I think the best play at that point was to let the ball maybe go foul. But on this turf, honestly, I don't think it was going to go foul anyway. So a little infield single for Gabe Edwards. This is Jalen Thomas, who singled back in the 2nd.
Right-handed hitter. Runner at first. Let's see what the freshman can do. Holding on. The runner is Joseph Webb at first. Ball is hit on the ground. Mikey fields it. There's 1 at 2nd. Here, not in time. Jaden had a little trouble getting it out of his glove. They do get the lead runner at 2nd. They get the force. Mikey with a good throw, but Jaden kind of double clutched it, and by the time he pulled it out of his glove, he threw a low throw, and Joseph couldn't dig it out of the artificial turf, and he's allowed to. He's on base with a fielder's choice, but there are 2 outs now.
Yeah, Cheverton, he just couldn't get it out of his glove. It was well hit to Mikey. He got it over to 2nd quick, and Cheverton just couldn't get it out of his glove and then made a low throw. Joe just couldn't dig up. I think if Joe scoops the ball over there at first, that would have been a double play.
Good lead at first, not going. The pitch is hit to center field. Not quite to center. It's going to be Jaden Cheverton right behind the bag. It was hit to center, but not too deep, and that's out number 3. So both teams, Lee, a lot of fly balls. I mean, they're not very few really ground balls, and very few balls have been barreled up against either pitcher, and that's why it's 1-1 as we go to the 5th.
Yeah, and there's really not been a whole lot of deep counts. We're really not seeing too many 3-ball, 2-strike counts. Both pitchers are throwing strikes so far. There really hasn't been too much hard contact. We saw the ball Andrew Riley hit for Dobyns-Bennett clear the tree line out in right field. And, for Oak Ridge, they just really haven't had that big hit yet. They've left 6 guys on so far. They've got 5 hits. They've been picked off twice, so they're getting guys on. They're hitting the ball not too hard, but they are getting guys on. They are getting some hits, but so far they're really not getting that big hit. They only have 1 run to show for it, and Coach Free meeting with the offense right now, probably just telling them, hey, look, this guy's throwing strikes. Let's use the whole field. I really haven't seen too many balls hit the other way for the righty or lefty hitters. And for me as a high school player, when you see a lot of awkward contact, not great contact, sometimes you just got to keep your hands and use the middle part of the field. For me, that's what I did. Try to use the middle of the field, drive the ball right back up the middle. Don't try to hit home runs. I don't know if that's what Coach Free is telling them, but those are just some of the things I've noticed.
Trying to compete over Waylon Jennings is very difficult. I didn't hear much of what you said. I'm going to turn the mic off. We go to the 5th, 1-1 our score. Welcome back once again to Kingsport Dobyns-Bennett High School. We are live on our YouTube channel. We got the meat of the order coming up. Parker Free, Mikey Teasley, and Joseph Webb. Wildcats haven't done much with this group in this ball game. Maybe that's what Coach Free was basically kind of pointing out some of the things you have seen from up here in the upper part of this beautiful facility as Parker takes one low and inside, 1 ball, no strikes. Parker leads the team in home runs. I believe he's got 7 on the year. Right-handed hitting catcher. He's the son of the head coach, Travis Free. I know you all know that. 1 ball, no strikes to him. The pitch, hit on the ground, foul. Over towards the Oak Ridge dugout, and the count is even at 1-1.
Yeah, the 1 through 4 hitters for Oak Ridge. That's Warren East, Parker Free, Mikey Teasley, and Joe Webb. A combined 1 for 8.
With Warren East with that 1, and also he reached base the second time, but he was picked off once. Managed to get to third, but Wildcats couldn't score. 1-1 pitch to Parker. Hit to right field. That's a base hit. As you said, Lee, use both fields, the whole field. And he just kind of poked it where the ball was, didn't try to pull it, didn't try to hit it out of the park, and just poked it into right field for a solid single. Kipton Fagan will come in to run for Parker. The Wildcats have a leadoff man aboard here in the 5th.
Yeah, I think that's what you call making an adjustment. He waited and got it a pitch, maybe a little outer half, and just drove the ball the other way. That's some of the best contact we've seen so far. So another leadoff guy on for Oak Ridge.
See what Mikey can do here. Kipton's the base runner. Kipton Fagan, sophomore. Pitch to Mikey. Oh boy. That almost hit him. And he called a strike. That almost hit him. Mikey is kind of up towards the plate, but that almost hit him, actually. But it's a strike. No balls and 1 strike. Kipton draws a throw, and he hadn't taken a big lead off of first. Nobody out. Mikey Teasley, the batter. Mikey is signed, sealed, and delivered to the University of Tennessee. He'll be a Vol next year. Kipton's got to watch it. He's picked off 2 today. Kipton's got good speed. He draws a throw and goes back standing. Fagan, of course, will have an opportunity to be the starting quarterback for the Oak Ridge football team when the season rolls around. Of course, he'll be missing spring practice, which begins next week, or in 2 weeks, I guess. As Kipton a short lead, Mikey the batter, 1 strike on him. Here's the pitch. Down low. Evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. A lot of people don't remember this, but Mikey Teasley was a good football player for the Wildcats his freshman year. And I thought he would have been a starting linebacker for Oak Ridge every year. But I think made a wise decision. If you think back, and this is well before your time, but Todd Helton actually started at quarterback in front of Peyton Manning. Alabama game, I think it was. He kind of got banged up a little bit, and he said, nope, I'm not playing football anymore. My bread is buttered with baseball, and he stuck with that. Here's the pitch to Mikey. Hit, right to the third baseman, and they've got a double play. Tough break that time. I mean, the other two pickoffs obviously were base stealing situations. That ball was a rocket off the bat of Mikey Teasley. The third baseman grabbed it and threw on, and Kipton really hadn't taken that much of a lead off the bag, but a good throw across the diamond, and that's a double play.
Yeah, you feel bad for Teasley. He hits a laser to Gabe Edwards, the third baseman, and unfortunately, the runner over there at first just got too far off. You feel bad for Teasley. That's what you want. You hit the ball hard, and unfortunately, it ended up being a double play.
Joseph Webb, the batter, he squares to bunt, takes the ball. Joe hit a grand slam at Greenville. I think he had a grand slam at McMinn County as well earlier in the year. He's committed to play at Vanderbilt. He's a junior. The pitch to him is down low. 2 balls and no strikes. What has Joe done today?
Joe has flown out to center and grounded out to short.
He's ahead in the count. 2 balls and no strikes. Dobyns-Bennett and Oak Ridge. 1-1. The pitch to Webb, inside corner. And the count is 2-1.
I mean, this is almost slow pitch softball stuff we're seeing from the pitcher Gallion, but it's been effective.
Wildcats, like I said, they're not used to facing somebody who's throwing this softly, actually. And that aggressiveness, that pitch is low. 3 balls and 1 strike. This Wildcats have been overly aggressive, and unfortunately, a lot of times you see it looks like a beach ball coming at you that slow, and he's done a good job. Only giving up the 1 run. Cut on and miss on that one. There's an example of that. He was he was looking towards the end zone on the other side of the field and swung right through it.
And this is where, as a hitter, you kind of have to tell yourself, okay, I really have to shorten my swing here because, I mean, he's just lobbing beach balls. I do see there is action in the Dobyns-Bennett bullpen.
Joe back in, 3-2 pitch to him. That's ball 4, and Joe will run and not able to advance past first. But the Wildcats have another base runner. Wildcats will send to the plate Carson Fagan. Carson has the hardest hit ball for the Wildcats to this point. It was a double to the fence in left center field. Obviously, the hardest hit ball for Dobyns-Bennett was the home run. So Carson's been able to barrel it up.
Yeah, he has doubled back in the second, and then, although his last at bat he popped out to first. But, yeah, he did barrel that ball. I thought it was a home run. Way out on the football field.
Which is not hard to do since the end zone is on the infield. He hits the ball hard again, but right at the center fielder, and Carson Fagan is out number 3. He barreled it up, but it's caught in center field. We go to the bottom half of the 5th inning here at Kingsport. Dobyns-Bennett High School, the Oak Ridge Wildcats, and the Dobyns-Bennett Indians tied at 1. Appreciate Laura Lynn Green with State Farm Insurance. We appreciate Mike Kelly with Betsy Coleman Realty, Todd Fox with the Fox Insurance Group. We also appreciate Sexton Automotive of Oak Ridge and Donnie Sharp with East Tennessee Spine and Sport. And, of course, our people who have donated money to us. Many have been, anonymous donations, but we appreciate the Fagan family down in Amarillo, Texas. We go to the bottom of the 5th, 1-1 our score. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to Kingsport Dobyns-Bennett High School. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Freshman Braylon Payne has gone all the way for the Wildcats, and he steps in a 1-1 ball game. The Wildcats have out-hit the Indians 6-4, but we're tied at 1. Pitch is on the outside half of the plate, and the count is 0-1.
This will be the leadoff hitter. Third time through the order for Dobyns-Bennett. This is Maddox Martin. He's 0 for 2.
Here's the pitch, cut on a miss. No balls and 2 strikes. Their run came on a solo home run in the first inning. The Wildcats' lone run came on an RBI single by Jaden Cheverton in the second. And that's where we are, 1-1 as we go to the bottom of the 5th. That pitch set up outside. Oak Ridge fans to our left thought it was a strike, but it was outside. I am sitting directly behind home plate. I mean directly. And I could see Parker had set up to his right, and it was outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pitch comes in, hit well to left. Carson back on it, looks up, can't make the play. Feels it on 1 hop off the fence. I thought initially that Carson was going to catch it, but he looked up and he saw an aluminum fence right in front of him and pulled back just a bit, and that's a leadoff double for the Dobyns-Bennett Indians.
Yeah, I think Carson had more room than he thought, but that's one of those where there's no warning track at this field, too, out in left field, and I think that's one of those Carson probably could have caught, but he just didn't know where the wall was, and that ball was ripped by the leadoff guy, Maddox Martin.
Brethren with a runner at second base. 1-1 our score. Pitch outside and high. 1 ball, no strikes. Is this the guy who hit the home run earlier?
It is. He cleared the tree line out in right field. It was a bomb.
1 ball, no strikes. 1-1 our score. 5th hit of the game for the Indians. Runner at second, nobody out. Braylon Payne, freshman, comes to the plate. It looked pretty good. I'd have called it a strike. The Greenville umpire last night, he wouldn't have even seen it. 2 balls and no strikes. Two-0 pitch, hit in the left field. Carson there, and he makes the play for out number 1. Kind of had to drift over to the center field side of left. Ball was kind of slicing a little bit. Actually was slicing a little bit towards him, and he made an easy play.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of flyouts, and we're starting to see some better contact from both teams at the plate, and it's just the ball's finding a lot of leather so far. This has been a rather quick game. We're already in the bottom of the 5th, and hopefully I'm not jinxing anything, but starting to see a little bit better contact from Dobyns-Bennett.
In Alabama, I saw a 14-inning ball game, so I don't want any of that. The game was going by quickly at first. 1-1 our score, 1 out here. Big lead at second base. Timeout is asked for by the batter. Jaden Cheverton is the second baseman. Noah Wood is playing short for the Wildcats. Mikey Teasley is at third. Joseph Webb is the first baseman. Braylon's pitch bounces away from Parker, and they're going to have a runner at third. So they've got the go-ahead run at third base. Parker didn't get too far away from him, but he couldn't corral it in time. The base runner advances to third base. Carson Fagan is in left. Warren East is in center. The right fielder is Brooks Poteet. As I mentioned, Parker Free is the catcher. Freshman Braylon Payne is the pitcher. Dobbins Bennett with a runner at third. The 1-0 pitch. That's just a bit high, I guess. It crossed the center part of the plate, maybe just above the belt. And the count is 2 balls and no strikes. Braylon's got to be getting a little tired. I don't have the exact pitch count. I don't see Coach Ulrich here to let me know what the pitch count is. That pitch is outside. Are you keeping pitch count over there?
No, I am not.
Okay, that's fine. Not criticizing. I just didn't know it because I know you're keeping the book over there, and a lot of times you do a lot of other things. 3 balls and no strikes. Squaring the bunt. Not going to bunt. He takes a strike. And the count is 3-1. 1-1 our score as Dobbins Bennett bats here in the 5th inning. Eager to see. Well, there's nobody working in either bullpen now. Dobbins Bennett had somebody warming up earlier. Nobody in the Oak Ridge pen. Here's Braylon's pitch. That's up high, ball 4. So they've got him on the corners with 1 out. And another big guy coming to the plate.
Yeah, this will be Cam Hayworth. I believe I was looking earlier as committed to Virginia Tech. This will be the 4-hole hitter, and a good mound visit here. I would have probably done the same thing. Going to go talk to the young freshman. Runners at the corners. Infield could probably play back. You could get a double play here. I think what you're going to do is you're going to tell the kid to throw strikes because both teams have been hitting the ball, and it's been finding a lot of gloves. So I think right now you're just telling him, hey, calm down, throw some strikes, let your defense work. Defense has been, for the most part, good for Oak Ridge so far. I've been really impressed with the freshman Braylon so far. But, yeah, runners at the corners, 1 out for the 4-hole Virginia Tech commit, which, according to PBR.
Coach Ball, the pitching coach for the Wildcats, out to talk, along with the entire infield. Coach Free had a conversation with the umpire on the inside. He walked all the way from his position. Maybe they're friends. Coach Free, obviously, from up in this area, as is Coach Ball. You talk about a long conversation. Now the home plate umpire decides to walk out. I think he was actually going to wait until the field umpire finished talking with Coach Free over by the Oak Ridge dugout. It looked like, actually, I don't think it has anything to do with baseball. I think it was honestly just a social conversation. Runners on the corners in a 1-1 ball game. Freshman Braylon Payne, 1-1 on the year. His only loss was to Science Hill. He pitched pretty well in that ball game. The Wildcats unfortunately lost that game at Bobby Hopkins Field. Let's see if Braylon tries to hold the runner on. If you throw the ball away, the guy's going to get to third. And Braylon kind of scuffling around on the mound. A little bit bothered by that runner at first base. We haven't had a whole lot of infield play. That pitch is high and outside. What I mean by that is ground outs or pop-ups. Most of the outs, it seems like, have been to the outfield. Either Warren out in center or Carson Fagan out in left. 1 ball, no strikes. Runners at first and third for the Indians. Now we got a little movement in the Oak Ridge bullpen to our left. Braylon Payne checks the runner at first, comes to the plate. Outside corner for a called strike. Good pitch there by Braylon Payne.
Yeah, I think just nibbled the outside corner. The batter, Hayworth, didn't like it. Kind of turned around and kind of showed some frustration with the call.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 2 on for the Indians in a 1-1 ball game. Pitch. Inside corner, called strike 2. So he's working the outside. That was to the inside half of the plate. And it's a 1-2 count. Strikeout right here would be huge for Braylon Payne. Parker gives the sign from the stretch. The freshman comes to the plate. The 1-2. Hit in the air. Foul territory. Joseph Webb has plenty of room for a moment. Then he goes out of play. He thought he had a beat on it, but it went into the Dobyns-Bennett bullpen down to our right. Oak Ridge and Dobyns-Bennett have been playing ball against one another forever. Football, basketball, baseball. The two cities very similar to one another. Kind of Eastman is kind of the big dog up here, and obviously the National Labs and such at Oak Ridge, kind of similar. Not one industry towns, but for the most part, yes. And they're very similar in size. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's outside and high. Kind of lost the grip on it. I think Braylon did. And the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
One thing I'm a little interested, they have a courtesy runner over there for Taylor Blankenship, which was the catcher. You have runners at the corners here. I'm a little surprised they haven't sent the courtesy runner in motion, just maybe put something on in a low-scoring game.
2 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch. Runner is going. Hit on the ground. They've got 1 out at first, but the run scores. It is 2-1 Dobyns-Bennett. Wildcats get the put out at first. The Indians have a runner in scoring position in second. Got a ground ball, but like you said, sending the runner kept them out of the double play.
Yeah, it's almost like whatever I say, turns around and happens. I think that was a good decision to send the runner for Kingsport because that basically took away the double play, which would have ended the inning. So 2-1 Dobyns-Bennett.
2 outs now in the 5th. Runner at second. Timeout is asked for by the batter. Steps out. Wearing number 14, about this time last year, Rick Evans, the former head coach of the Oak Ridge baseball team, passed away. It's been about a year. Kind of reminded me that was his number. There's a called strike. Cat has no balls and 1 strike. Travis Free, head coach now. The Wildcats, let's see, since Coach Evans, we had Jerry Lynn, Jack Crouch, Nelson Glover. As we've got 1 strike. Runner at second base, 2 outs here in the 5th. Pitch. Foul tip back to the screen. And the count is 0-2. Mike Kelly tells me 74 pitches as of the mound visit. No balls and 2 strikes. Braylon comes to the plate. Outside and high with the fastball, and the count is 1-2. The second ball game, if you're watching the scoreboard and listening to our audio, will have live video. Dobyns-Bennett, as I've mentioned several times, does not allow live video streaming. So that's why we're doing basically a radio call. 1-2 pitch, hit to center field. Warren makes the catch. Another great play by Warren East. And I wish we had the camera on that one because that was a thing of beauty by Warren out in center field.
He had to go a long way to his right. The ball definitely tailing away from him right there. And you're right, I wish we could have had a video on that. That definitely saved at least 1 run. And if that ball gets by him, that is deep to center field. You may have prevented it inside the park home run, but that saves at least 1 run from scoring. So remember that play. An outstanding. That's really one of the better plays I think we're going to see maybe of the season right there from Warren East.
But Dobyns-Bennett does take the lead. 2-1 our score. We go to the top of the 6th inning here in Kingsport. The Wildcats trailing it 2-1. We'll be back to Kingsport on our YouTube channel in a moment. David Clary back here along with Lee Wexler. Lee played high school ball at Riverdale High School in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. We're also joined by Preston Fetters. Preston's been with us in football, basketball, and baseball season. He's one of our crew guys, and Oliver Poggle, too. He started with us in basketball. Wildcats step in with Brooks Poteet. Brooks has seen 2 pitches, and he has a single and a ground out. He swung at the first pitch all 3 times. This time, that pitch floats outside. It was way outside, but he called it a strike, and the count is 0-1. Brooks 1 for 2 in the ballgame. Got picked off earlier. The Wildcats have had, actually, if you count Kipton being doubled off, that pitch way outside. Catcher set up in the right-handed batter's box. Brooks is a lefty. Pitch was floated way outside, and Brooks has an even count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Big lefty doesn't throw hard, but he throws strikes, and that's what all you can ask for. 1-1 pitch. That's up high. 2 balls and 1 strike. Poteet, as I mentioned, had a single to right center his last time. Wildcats have out-hit him 6-5, but a couple guys picked off and a double play. Ball hit in the air to center field. Not very deep. Their center fielder under it makes the play for out number 1. Here comes Jaden Cheverton. Jaden has accounted for the Wildcats' only run. RBI single back in the 2nd inning. And he bats from the right side. So Jaden Cheverton steps in. We're in the 6th inning. Very fast-moving ball game. Not a whole lot of action. Well, it's been a lot of action, not a lot of strikeouts. Ball's been put in play as that pitch floats inside for a called strike. Ball's been put in play, but the defense for both teams has been pretty stellar. The Wildcats have committed the only error of the ball game. It didn't hurt them at that point, but passed ball a moment ago, or a wild pitch, whatever it was, set up their score. That pitch is way outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Cam Welch is on deck, and then it'll be Noah Wood. There is 1 out here in the 6th inning. 2-1. Dobyns-Bennett on top of Oak Ridge. We'll play a second game today against Elder. We'll have the video of that game. That pitch is low and outside. Then tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning, we'll scoot over to Johnson City, and the Wildcats, I think, will take on the Jefferson County Patriots. Cheverton back in. 2 balls and 1 strike to him. Pitch, hit on the ground, third base side. He feels it, fumbles it, throws high, and he's out. Bang, bang play at first. No argument from Coach McKeithen, no argument from Jaden Cheverton, and that is out number 2 here in the 6th.
Yeah, good recovery by Gabe Edwards, the third baseman for Dobyns-Bennett. It was right to him and fumbled it, had to shift to his left, picked it up, and still threw out Cheverton at first. So, yeah, you're right. There hasn't really been too many strikeouts in the game. There's been a lot of balls put in play. I don't know what we've got going on here. I don't know if Edwards needs a new glove. I guess he missed the ball because of his glove. He's going to get a new glove. And it's just 2 outs here on the top of the 6th. It's been a fast-moving game. I'm going to count how many strikeouts. I'll get back to you in a second, but there's just been no strikeouts. Every ball's been put in play.
1 strikeout. I think Mikey struck out. That might be the only one. As Cam Welch bats with 2 outs and nobody aboard. The second baseman plays way deep into right field. A lot of room up the middle. Big guy takes a strike. The count is 0-1. Noah Wood is on deck. The Wildcats in the 7th inning, and hopefully Braylon can keep it right where it is. We'll, depending on what Cam does here to get Noah up, we'll have the top of that order. And with a chance, but the top of the order has struggled a bit. As we mentioned, I think Warren's been on base a couple times, but Mikey hit the ball hard, very hard the last time, but had nothing to show for it. 1 ball, 1 strike to Cam Welch. The pitch to him, high and tight, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, just a single for Warren East, and then, another single from Parker Free, but that's really it. Only 2 hits total so far for the 1 through 4 hitters for Oak Ridge.
Welch back in, 2-1 pitch to him, hit on the ground to the second baseman. He throws on the first in time for out number 3. So the Wildcats go in order here for one of the few times in the ball game. We go to the bottom half of the 6th inning here at Kingsport Dobyns-Bennett High School. The Wildcats of Oak Ridge trail the Indians 2-1. We'll be back on our YouTube channels. Brought to you by Laura Lynn Green with State Farm Insurance, Mike Kelly with Betsy Coleman Realty, Sexton Automotive, along with East Tennessee Spine and Sport, and Todd Fox with the Fox Insurance Group. We'll be back to DB in a moment. Welcome back to Kingsport Dobbins-Bennett High School. A beautiful day in Upper East Tennessee. Thanks for listening to our broadcast and watching our scoreboard. As I've said before, this is a doubleheader. We will have the second game against Elder out of Ohio. We'll have live video. Dobyns-Bennett does not allow live video streaming. And we've been up here for football. We've been up here for basketball. They do not allow it. And so that means, and we're coming to Dobyns-Bennett this year in football season, we will not be able to stream. There's a called strike. Evens the count, 1-1 strike. Leadoff man here in the bottom of the 6th inning is?
This is Caden Cutlip. He's got a pair of flyouts to center field.
1-1 strike. Oliver Poggle, Preston Fetters, Lee Wexler. My name is David Clary. Thanks for tuning us in. I don't know. We'll check the chat here in a second to see where people might be watching. There's a called strike. Preston doesn't like to talk. If we get an out here, I'm coming to you, Preston, so get ready for that chat. 1-2 strikes. I know the Fagans are watching in Texas for sure. 1-2 pitch from Braylon Payne. And Braylon's pitched great. I mean, we're in the 6th inning right now, and the freshman has gone all the way. He's only given up 5 hits. He's given up 2 runs. One of them was a home run, but for the most part, he's pitched to contact. Almost made contact with the batter there. It's inside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. He's pitched well.
Yeah, he has. And, I mean, this is a big game. This is a good team, good crowd here in Kingsport, good weather. It looks to be Jonah Wolf down in the pen for Oak Ridge.
There's ball 4, and that might be it for Braylon. Nowhere close. All right, Preston. What's going on the chat? Anybody watching us?
There's not really much happening. I mean, Dylan Woody said hi, David, but other than that, nothing really is happening. No, Dylan. Yeah.
Hey, Dylan. Wish you were here, but we got it on as we're going to have a pitching change, it would appear. Why don't you kind of run down what Braylon has done? Well, we'll see. We'll have a pitching change. Jonah has had some time to work just a bit. He is a transfer from Grace and had a beautiful bunt last night. I said it last night. A beautiful bunt last night.
Yeah, back in the first inning, Braylon issued a couple strikeouts, but did give up a long home run to Andrew Riley for the first run of the game. I got a decent amount of flyouts in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th innings. And then Dobyns-Bennett was able to kind of work around, got a few hits, was able to get some guys, capitalized on a pass ball, and was able to scratch across a run there in the top of the 5th. But for the freshman, it's been a really good outing so far. He's only given up 2 runs, did issue a leadoff walk there. Not sure how many batters they're going to let him see. This is the 7-hole Gabe Edwards, who is 1 for 2.
Pitch to him, he bunts it. It's going to be a bang-bang play. Braylon has time, throws a nice throw to Joseph Webb. Good sacrifice bunt, and they've got another runner in scoring position.
Now batting
And
number
one out in the
Jalen
sixth
Thomas.
in a 2-1 ball game. Braylon 1-1 on the year. His first varsity start was against Providence Academy out of Johnson City, and the freshman picked up a win. He did lose the ball game to Science Hill earlier this year, so he's 1-1 in his career. As I mentioned, he's only a freshman. Big things in front of this guy, I can tell you. You can see that. I mean, he's got a lot of talent. He's very young. He's got some great size. He throws hard. A lot of upside to Braylon Payne. I'll come back to that point in a moment. Here's the pitch to the plate. That's a strike. Still throwing strikes. That's one good thing.
Yeah, and just to reference back to what you were saying, as a freshman, you can tell he's going to be a guy that Coach Free is going to be able to rely on really all 4 years he's going to be at Oak Ridge. He's going to continue to be a good pitcher.
One strike the count. Runner at second. One out here in the bottom of the sixth and a 2-1 ball game. Tommy and Martha Lee watching our broadcast here today from Kingsport. We'll have the second game for you. Oak Ridge taking on Elder around 7 o'clock, although this one's flying on by. It's probably going to be around 7. Looking at the clock, it's about 6:11 right now. Ball hit on the ground. It's going to stay fair, just barely. Joseph Webb feels it and steps on the bag. It had a lot of spin on it because when he first hit it, it was foul, and then it spun in the fair territory and rolled right to Joseph Webb, who's the first baseman, and he just picked it up, stepped on the bag. That had a lot of spin on it.
Yeah, classic cue ball shot right there. It was headed fouling, but that's what happens when you kind of hit the ball off the end of the bat. We're going to get a mound visit from Coach Free. That was that ball was tailing foul, and Joe Webb just picked it right up and touched the bag. So Braylon's going to finish. I'll get the totals up here for you in a second, David, but it looks like it's going to be 5 2/3 for the freshman. He's only given up 2 runs and 5 hits, so I'll get the totals for you here in a second.
I could see his body language when he saw Coach Free coming out of there. He kind of turned his back to the mound in disgust, but he deserves a good round of applause as the freshman has given up only 5 hits in the ball game, only 2 runs in the game, and he's going to give way to Jonah Wolf, who's going to come in relief of the freshman. So we're going to take a break here. 2 outs in the sixth. The Wildcats down 2-1. When we come back, Dobyns-Bennett has a runner at third base. We'll be back to see what Jonah can do in a moment. I made a mistake earlier. We saw Jonah Wolf warming up in the bullpen, but I see number 13 is the pitcher. That'll be Jaden Cheverton. Wolf is going to take over for him at second base, so he was probably just getting a little warm. Jaden pitched a little bit yesterday. Had some control issues. He's been pretty good most of the time when he's come in these situations. He's a sophomore, good-looking player, good hitter. He's knocked in the only run of the game for the Wildcats. Needs to get one out here. He's got a runner, inherits a runner at third. His first pitch is a strike, and the count is 0-1. He inherits a runner at third. 2-1 our score. Jaden's job is to keep it right where it is and hope his bats can get something done in the seventh. Cheverton comes to the plate, cut on a miss, high fastball, swung right through it, and the count is 0-2. Let's see his family in attendance here today. There's a lot of families here. I don't know, a lot of them probably stayed up here after the Greenville ball game last night. No balls and 2 strikes. Chevy's pitch. There's called strike 3, and he knew it. 3 pitches, 3 strikes. Chevy does the job. Good job coming in. Pressure-packed situation. He had a runner at third, Lee, and he comes in 3 pitches, 3 strikes. Go sit down.
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, and good night. David, I've got the final marking right here for Braylon Payne. He's through 5 2/3 innings, issued 2 strikeouts, and ironically, they both came back in the first inning. 2 walks, 6 hits, only giving up 2 runs, gave up a home run back in the first inning. And it's unfortunate, Braylon, his offense really didn't help him out too much, didn't really get a whole lot of run support today, but a good outing from the freshman, only giving up 2 runs. This is a good Dobyns-Bennett team. In, year out, Dobyns-Bennett they are consistently a good team. They're always in the postseason, in the region tournament, always competing for state. So a good outing from the freshman. You can tell Braylon is going to be a good pitcher for years to come for this Oak Ridge staff. And you mentioned there was only 5 seniors on the Oak Ridge staff. So it's a little bit of a diverse team. I mean, it's not really an old team, but it's not really a young team. They've got a little bit of everything. But again, 5 2/3 innings for Braylon Payne, 2 strikeouts, 2 walks, 6 hits, and I want to emphasize the 2 walks. That's key for a young guy like that. And if you want to be pitching at this level and you want to pitch consistently for years, you want to make coaches happy and you want to give your team a chance, you really got to limit the walks. So only 2 walks. They came a little late in the outing, but overall, I would say I was really impressed. That's my first time watching him, David.
Yeah, where the Wildcats have struggled today is when they've gotten people on. They have 6 hits. According to the scoreboard, they've out-hit the Indians 6-5, but they've had 3 different base runners picked off the base, and that has hurt the Wildcats' cause. And the top of the order hasn't contributed like we're accustomed to them doing so. And Noah Wood will lead things off for the Wildcats. Noah is the number 9 hitter, who will be followed by Warren East and Parker Free. The Wildcats are down by 1 run, 2-1. Noah takes a strike on the outer half of the plate. Ball coming in a little harder than the previous pitcher. No balls and 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Noah hits the ball foul, off to the right and out of play.
A new pitcher on the mound for Dobyns-Bennett. I'm trying to look for my scorecard here, but I believe I heard the PA. Andrew Wiley is what I heard. This ball's cut on and fouled down the right field line.
No balls and 2 strikes. Noah hits it foul off to the right. Wood back in. Leadoff man here in the 7th. The Wildcats down a run, 2-1. Pitch to Noah is way up high. One ball, 2 strikes. We're at Kingsport. Dobyns-Bennett. We'll be back for the second game. Noah swings, and he's going to have to throw him out. It's a strikeout. The catcher does field it and throws him out. And that is out number 1 here in this 7th inning. And back to the top of the order we go to Warren East. So the guys the Wildcats have coming up to bat got to get things going. As Warren has a hit to his credit today, was hit by a pitch as well. And he's played some really good center field, but for the most part, the Wildcats have only scored the 1 run. That came in the 2nd inning. That was an RBI single by Jaden Cheverton. Other than that, the Wildcats, we've had some runners at third, but haven't been able to advance them as that ball is hit foul. Back out of play, over towards Preston Fetters, who is currently setting up our cameras for the second ball game, as the Wildcats will take on Elder out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Warren back in, behind in the count, no balls and 1 strike. 2-1, Dobyns-Bennett. The pitch, cut on miss. Good pitch there by the Indian hurler, and Warren's behind 0-2.
Yeah, back to Braylon Payne, 5 hits, 3 walks. I need to do a better job of reading my own scorebook.
Yeah, you thought he had 6, and that hit you thought was probably a walk. So 2-1 our score. Warren behind in the count 0-2. Pitch, he thought about swinging. And he did, and that's the strikeout. And ball popped out in front, and then the catcher just tagged him. The Wildcats are down to their final out. And they're going to fall to 25-3-1 and lose 2 games to the Upper East Tennessee guys. Science Hill beat Oak Ridge. Hardin Valley beat Oak Ridge. The Wildcats just haven't been able to manage to get the big hit when they've had runners on, and they've had several picked off today. Parker takes one outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Coach Free, I think, probably would be more upset, honestly, about the runners being picked off today. The glove work has been good. The pitching's been good. And for the most part, the Wildcats have gotten some people on base. They just haven't been able to get the big hit, and they've had 3 guys picked off. That's what Coach Free will probably be most upset with. Parker swings at that one. The count is 2-1 on him. Wildcats down to their final out, down 2-1. They'll play Elder after this. Dobyns-Bennett with a really good record. They've played some really good opponents. Could be a team Oak Ridge could hook up with later if the Wildcats are able to get to a sectional game. Ball ripped, deep to left. Ball is deep. Not deep enough, or is it? It is out a hair. Parker Free has tied the ball game. Parker Free has tied the game. 2-2 our score. Parker Free hit it right over the left field fence, and we are tied at 2. What a huge hit for the junior.
Well, he got all of it. I thought the left fielder I thought the ball was going to stay in the park, and he got all of it. I guess better late than never. That's the 7th hit of the ball game. The pitcher, Wiley, for Dobbins-Bennett came in and got strikeout, and just Parker Free completely ambushed a fastball left center field. So we got a tie game.
Parker leads the team in home runs, and none bigger than that one right there. It barely got over the fence. I thought the left fielder was going to catch it, but then it cleared the fence, and he slammed into the fence. And we've got a 2-2 ball game here in the 7th inning. Batter now is Mikey Teasley. Be nice to see Mikey do the same here. Mikey with great power as well. Mikey's been kind of quiet. His last time he hit the ball real hard, but had nothing to show for it. Good play by the third baseman. He takes the ball inside. Mikey's got home run power. Hit a couple home runs the other day in the, I think it was the Ray County ball game, if I'm thinking back. 1-1 pitch. Hit on the ground, deep short, into left field, a base hit. Shortstop went down, couldn't quite come up with it. Now here comes Joseph Webb. So the Wildcats seeing a little faster pitches. Wildcats struggled against the slower starting pitcher, but the Wildcats have gotten their hit machine going here in the 7th inning in a 2-2 game. Joseph Webb, the batter. Joseph, obviously, with home run power, hit a grand slam yesterday, had a couple home runs the other day as well against Ray County. Mikey with good speed at first. Cut on a miss. Big home run by Parker Free. I'll ask his mother real quick how many home runs that Parker has. I have forgotten. It's 6 or 7. And she's right to my right as Joseph takes a strike. How many home runs does Parker has? 8 home runs on the year. And that leads the Wildcats. Thank you. 8 home runs for Parker. Tops on the team. Joseph behind in the count, 0-2. Mikey at first. Joseph calls timeout. 2-2 our score. Home run by Parker Free. When he first hit it, I thought it was going to be caught. But Parker drills it, and that's a home run. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Joseph Webb. Instead, he throws to first, and back to the bag will go Mikey Teasley. We'll have the second game for you. We'll have live video. We have set it up, although that one man is sitting in front of the camera down there. Of all places, here's a steal. Mikey has a stolen base, and he is now in scoring position. The go-ahead run at second base. Joseph Webb with a 1-2 count.
I just go back to that play Warren East made in center field early in the game, and I told you, remember that play if Oak Ridge can crawl back into this game.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Base hit could mean a run. Joseph back in. Run the stretch. Here's the pitch. That's outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Carson Fagan is on deck. I just looked down at Parker. Parker's fired up in the Oak Ridge dugout. You can see him down there. He's got that adrenaline's got to be flowing. I mean, 2 outs in the 7th inning, and you hit a home run to tie the ball game. Joe back in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mikey Teasley at second, heading to third. Here's a ball, and that's a stolen base for Mikey Teasley. He's at third base, and we've got a 3-2 count on Joseph Webb. So a wild pitch, pass ball, could get the go-ahead run in for the Wildcats. Mikey's at third. Joseph fell behind 0-2. He's taken 3 straight out of the strike zone. Here's the pitch to him. Hit on the ground, the second baseman fields it cleanly, throws on the first in time for out number 3. But the Wildcats score a home run by Parker Free, and we go to the bottom of the 7th inning here at Kingsport. 2-2 our score. We'll be back to Kingsport in a moment. Welcome back to Kingsport. Dobyns-Bennett. Jaden Cheverton begins his first full inning of work, facing the top of the order, and that first pitch almost clipped their leadoff man. 2-2 our score as we play in the bottom of the 7th inning. Parker Free with a big home run to tie it. There's a called strike. Bounces out of the mid of Parker. Cheverton came in and faced one batter in the 6th inning. He struck him out, but he's facing the top of the Dobbins-Bennett order here. 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody on, nobody out. Cheverton, the sophomore, comes to the plate. High. And the count is 2-1. 2-1. So the Wildcats throw a freshman through the first few innings, and then a sophomore here in the 7th. Wildcats have out hit the Indians 8-5, but we're tied at 2. 2-1 pitch. That's a strike on the outer half of the plate. That evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. As I mentioned, Oak Ridge and Dobyns-Bennett have a deep history of football, basketball, all sports. It's always fun to come up here, see our friends from Kingsport. 2-2 pitch, way outside. You don't want to lead off walk here. Jaden very aware of that. Gets a little encouragement from his catcher, Parker Free. Nobody out. 3 balls and 2 strikes the count. 2-2 our score. From Dobyns-Bennett High School, here's the 3-2 pitch. Hit foul. Off to the right. Stayed alive, and the count remains full. Jonah Wolf is the second baseman. Noah Wood, shortstop. The rest of the field the same. Teasley and Webb on the corners. 3-2 pitch. Hit right to Joseph Webb. He makes the catch for out number 1. Line drive. He caught it in, I believe, in foul territory, and that's out number 1.
Number 3, Andrew
Yeah, a little awkward
Riley.
play. It wasn't great contact, and Joe, I think you're right, kind of fell into foul territory. Good. That's important to get the first out right there at the first batter. This will be Andrew Riley, who came in to pitch there in the top of the 7th, who gave up the home run to Parker Free. Andrew Riley, the batter.
And is he the guy that hit the home run earlier? He hits the ball foul our way. Preston ducks, but it's out of play. No balls and 1 strike. 2-2 our score. We could have extra innings, Preston. You know what that means. We remember the 14 innings in Alabama. Hopefully we get to the 8th inning, obviously. That pitch is a ball outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Cheverton has faced 2 batters. He's retired. This guy hit one over the tree line, as Lee said earlier, for their only run until that run scored in the 5th. 1-1 pitch, inside corner. I like this umpire. He's very consistently.
Yeah, he has been. Really not too many issues. And again, for us, we're right behind home plate up here, right underneath the press box. We've got a great view of the strike zone, so we've been able to really see his strike zone.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Chevy to the plate. Oh, did he swing? They asked for help. He did not swing. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out, nobody aboard. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Non-district contest here in Kingsport. The Wildcats will play their final 2 district games Monday and Wednesday against Farragut. We'll hope you'll join us at the ballpark. 2-2 pitch. That's a little high. It was. A little outside, too. Parker didn't argue behind the plate. Didn't hold the ball to show the umpire up. 3 balls and 2 strikes. He's had a really successful. He's been very successful. He's got to keep one out of the wheelhouse here. 3-2 pitch. Almost hit him. And that's ball 4. And they've got the go-ahead and winning run on base.
Number 6,
and
Taylor Blankenship.
Here comes Blankenship.
Yeah, Blankenship 0 for 1, was struck out in the 1st, laid down a sac bunt in the 3rd, and walked back in the 5th.
Here comes a slow walk from Travis Free, the head coach of the Wildcats. Why don't you run down the Oak Ridge totals offensively for them while we have a little break?
We're going to get a mound visit from Coach Free here, and we're going to get a pitching change. I'm going to run down the kind of what's happened so far. I'm going to look at the Oak Ridge lineup here. Warren East in the leadoff spot is 1 for 3 so far. He's got a single to left field back in the 1st. Was hit by a pitch in the 3rd, has a fly out and a strikeout. Parker Free with 2 hits today, and most notably that home run, I guess better late than never, back in the 7th inning with 2 outs, tied the game. Parker is 2 for 4. Mikey Teasley, 1 for 4, singled back in the 7th inning, has a strikeout, a flyout, and a lineout. Joe Webb, 0 for 3, with a walk back in the 5th inning. Carson Fagan is 1 for 3, doubled back in the 2nd, scored Oak Ridge's first run, popped out to 1st, flew out to center. Brooks Petit is 1 for 3, has a single in the 4th inning. Jaden Cheverton is 1 for 2, has a single and a walk. Cam Welch is 0 for 1, has a hit by pitch and a walk, and grounded out to 2nd in the 6th inning. And Noah Wood is 1 for 3 with a single in the 4th, struck out there in the 7th inning. So far, only 8 hits, 2 runs, a couple pickoffs for Oak Ridge on the base paths. David, we have a new pitcher. I can't tell his number. And it's going to be Carson Fagan. So obviously we're going to see a couple defensive changes here for the Wildcats. 2-2's the score here in the bottom of the 7th. A runner at first for Dobyns-Bennett. It's been a quick game. A lot of balls put in play, very few strikeouts. And we find ourselves with a tie game here in Kingsport. Oak Ridge will play again after this game against Elder, Ohio. They're out of Cincinnati. Carson Fagan, the new pitcher, as David just mentioned to me. And only 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. So Oak Ridge, they've put a lot of balls in play, found a lot of leather, found a lot of gloves. We saw a great outing from Braylon Payne, just a freshman. Really exciting young guy for Oak Ridge. Only 3 walks, give up 5 hits, only 2 runs. So I go back to that defensive play back in, I can't remember which inning it was. I want to say it was maybe the 5th or 6th inning. Warren East out in center field, there was 2 outs, and there was a man at second. His diving play saved at least 1 run. And if that ball gets past Warren, David, I'm concerned that could have been an inside-the-park home run. Warren had to go a long way to his right, really made the diving catch out in left center field. And to me, that's the play of the game. That right now is the difference in the game.
See what Carson can do. He takes over. He is basically the closer for the team this year, and his first pitch is a called strike. Last year it was Peyton Witter. The last couple of years it was Peyton Witter, and he did a great job, but Carson has upped his velocity this year and has really been very fine in that role for Coach Travis Free. Runner at first, that's the winning run. He's trying to keep him close. He throws over to first. I know the Fagan family. We appreciate them sponsoring our broadcast this year down in Amarillo, Texas. Thank you. Along with Uncle Andy. Is Uncle Andy here tonight? Is he here? Good. Okay, good. Okay. Throw over to first once again. I see Uncle Andy for the first time. Thank you. Thank you for sponsoring. Thank you. Even though I don't know if he actually did, but his face is on the screen. No balls and one strike. Carson comes to the plate. That's a little high and outside. Evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. 2-2 our score. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. The Indians have the winning run at first. 1 out. A quick throw and good pickoff move there by Carson, keeping the runner close. Good snag by Joseph over at first. Right-handed hitter against the right-handed hard-throwing Carson Fagan, senior, one of the 5 seniors on the Oak Ridge team. The pitch. Oh, man. Oh, well. Now he's kind of shrunk the strike zone a bit, and the count is 2-1. That was a good-looking pitch.
Yeah, it was maybe a little low and outside, I guess, and you were complimenting the umpire, and I just hope it doesn't come down to a bad call.
He's been good. He's been very consistent. That one looked like a strike. That pitch is hit right to Jonah Wood. He's got 1, it's 2. Here's the throwback. Double play! Double play! Jonah Wood. Jonah Wolf. Noah Wood to Oak Ridge's Joseph Webb, and we have extra innings. Extra innings here in Kingsport. We go to the 8th inning. We're tied at 2. We'll be back to Kingsport Dobbins-Bennett in a moment. We welcome you back to Kingsport Dobyns-Bennett High School, where we head to the top of the 8th inning. So we've got extra innings. The last time we had an extra inning ball game, we had 14 innings down in Alabama. Ended up in a tie. Wildcats will lead things off with Carson Fagan. Carson came in relief of Jaden Cheverton, got the double play they needed to get the Wildcats out of the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, a good turn from the infield right there. And, if you're Oak Ridge, you want to get the leadoff guy on, and, you want to continue what you've been doing. They've really barreled up Riley there in the 7th inning. They're going to run Riley back out there, Dobyns-Bennett is. And, we've got a 2-2 game, and hopefully Oak Ridge will get some runs across early. That way we don't see, a gazillion inning extra inning contest.
Carson takes the ball outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Carson had a booming double to left center field. I think that's his only hit of the ball game. Came in relief. He's the pitcher of record as we speak. The 1-0 pitch to him is hit foul. Back to the screen. We will have a second ball game today. The Wildcats taking on Elder out of Cincinnati, Ohio. We'll have the live video on that one. Appreciate all of you watching our broadcast. The class of 1989 included, one of our sponsors. Appreciate them all year long. 1-1 pitch to Carson. Hit foul off himself, and the count is 1-2. Oliver Poggles here along with Preston Fetters, Lee Wexler, Class of 1989. They built that pavilion there on Kentucky Avenue at Blankenship Field. They contributed academically, athletically, and they've been part of our broadcast all season long, football, basketball, and baseball. Class of 89, they encourage other classes to get involved. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Carson Fagan. Hit well. Not well enough, though. The left fielder over in the left center field makes the catch. Kind of very similar to where he had his double early on, but the ball was not hit that hard. It was out in medium center field. And here's Brooks Poteet. Brooks had a single, I know, at least 1 point in the game.
Yeah, 1 for 3, had a single back in the 4th.
1 out here in the 8th inning. Pitch to Brooks. He takes a strike on the inner half of the plate. Where are we in the Dobyns-Bennett order when we get to the bottom of the 8th?
There will be at the 4-hole hitter, Cam Hayworth.
Brooks swings and he misses. Another lefty. This is the second lefty they've run out against the Wildcats. Brooks takes a little walk out of the circle, steps back in. He's behind in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Nobody on. 1 out here in the 8th inning. I guess Brooks gets tired and steps back in, steps out, calls timeout. He's behind in the count, 0-2. Pitch to him, cut on and missed. And that is a swinging strikeout, and that is out number 2 here in the 8th inning. And the batter will be Jaden Cheverton. Jaden had an RBI single his first time, pitched some in the ball game. Very solid ball game, Lee. 2-2. We're in the 8th inning. 2 big-time teams, 2 big-time programs right now in the state of Tennessee. It's a good game.
It has been, and we haven't really seen too many strikeouts. We've seen a lot of balls put in play. As that one misses up and away.
Jaden will be followed by Cam Welch. He's on deck for the Wildcats. Oak Ridge wearing their black jerseys today. Dobyns-Bennett wearing their white and maroon. 1-0 pitch. There's a called strike.
A little bit more velocity from the new left-handed pitcher, Andrew Riley, for Dobyns-Bennett.
1 ball, 1 strike. The pitch. Low and inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. As I mentioned, we'll have the second ball game coming up. We'll have the live video on that. As I mentioned, Dobyns-Bennett does not allow live streaming of video, so that's why we've had to go to the audio. 2-1 pitch. Outside, 3 balls and 1 strike to Jaden Cheverton. Jaden's had some pretty good at-bats today. He's worked some counts full, got that hit. What did he do the last time?
He grounded out to third.
Right-handed hitter. He's a sophomore. Pitch to him. That almost hit him. It's high and tight. Wildcats have a 2-out base runner. Let's see if Jaden is substituted on the base paths. I don't believe so. Cam Welch with good power will bat here. Cam looking for his first base hit of the night. Big lefty, one of 5 seniors on the Oak Ridge team, as I mentioned. There's Joseph Webb's mother with her dog right here in front of us. Bark in the park, as they say sometimes. Cheverton, the base runner at first for the Wildcats. Here's the pitch to Cam. He takes a strike. Kind of a delayed action on the umpire's part. It was a strike for sure. I thought maybe he was going to call one outside. The count is 0-1. Stay tuned with us. We'll have that second ball game for you on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio. Jaden takes his lead off of first. 2 outs in the 8th. Ball hit to the outfield. It's going to be in for a base hit. Cheverton is heading towards second, and the ball comes in. The Wildcats have him on the corners. Good hit by Cam Welch. Nothing fancy at all, Lee Wexler. Put his bat out on it and poked it into left field.
No, good approach. Used left center part of the field. And it'll be runners at the corners for Oak Ridge here with 2 outs. So a little pass ball or an infield hit even for Noah Wood would get in a go-ahead run for Oak Ridge. Would be a huge run. I believe that is Cheverton still running at third. So I believe Cheverton was still pitching. So interesting they didn't use a courtesy runner.
Well, Carson was pitching there at the end. So the Wildcats have him on the corners. Let's see if they try to do some trick play of some sort. Cam Welch with average speed at first. Jaden Cheverton, the lead runner at third. We're in the 8th inning. 2 outs. He's going. And they're not going to throw, obviously. And a belly flop slide there by Cam Welch. The Wildcats have a couple runners in scoring position. And Noah, the first pitch to him was a ball, I believe. Yeah, ball one. Wildcats have the top of the order on deck. Noah would like to do some damage right here. Runners at second and third for the Wildcats in a 2-2 ball game. Pitch, ball two. I don't believe he wants to see Warren East in the top of the order, and he wants to get Noah Wood right here.
No, if you're Andrew Riley, the pitcher for Dobyns-Bennett, you want to get this guy out. This is the 9-hole for Oak Ridge. You really don't want to flip the order.
2 balls and no strikes. Noah Wood. Pitch to him. Hit hard, but right to the second baseman, and he throws him out. Wildcats pick up a couple base runners. They leave them stranded. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Here in Kingsport, the Wildcats and Indians are tied at 2. We're on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio. We appreciate Laura Lynn Green with State Farm Insurance, Sexton Automotive of Oak Ridge, East Tennessee Spine and Sport, Todd Fox with the Fox Insurance Group, Mike Kelly with Betsy Coleman Realty, and, of course, the Fagan family and the class of 1989. Looks like Carson Fagan's going to return to the mound in the bottom of the 8th. We'll be back for that in a moment. Welcome back to Kingsport Dobyns-Bennett High School in Kingsport. A beautiful day for baseball. We'll have another one for you following this game. We'll take on Elder out of Cincinnati. Then tomorrow at 10 o'clock, Wildcats will be in action against, I think, Jefferson County. That'll be over in Johnson City. So a couple more ball games. And this is, we're in the 8th inning. And Lee?
This will be the 4-hole Cam Hayworth. He is 1 for 3 on the day, singled in the first. Flew out to left, grounded out to short.
Carson Fagan will begin his first full inning of work. He came in, got the double play to end the 7th inning. Carson doesn't usually go more than an inning. This will be something different for him. Right-handed throwing senior comes to the plate. That pitch is on the outside half of the plate for a called strike.
Yeah, maybe a gift there. I thought that ball's maybe off the plate, but nonetheless, he gets ahead 0-1.
Umpire might be getting tired. Carson to the plate. Ball hit in the air. Foul territory. Mikey, a dead sprint. Oh, can't quite get to it. There is so much foul territory here. And Carson made a good pitch, but Mikey had to go a long way. Just couldn't quite catch up to it.
Yeah, Mikey was shaded over, pull side. He was way off the line, and he had to go a long way. In a lot of ballparks, that's way out of play, and the ball landed on the turf, in the field, but just in foul territory. So, long way to go. Wasn't going to catch that one.
No balls and 2 strikes. Parker free. Catcher. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. It's outside. Let's see if Cheverton is back. Is that 13? Cheverton's back at second. Noah Wood is at short. Teasley at third. Right, the first baseman, Joseph Webb. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Pretty good pitch, maybe a little low. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Not sure who the left fielder is. I don't know if we can see that far. Maybe we can pull the camera to zoom in on as that ball is hit our way and out of play. Preston, do me a favor and zoom the camera in on the left fielder and tell me who that is. Actually, a little too far from my old tired eyes. 2 balls and 2 strikes. We're in the 8th inning. 2-2 pitch. A little low and outside. Full count now.
The two youngsters are telling me Braylon Payne. Oh, nope.
Brooks Poteet is now the left fielder. 3-2 pitch from Carson. Hit. That's going to be a base hit. That might be more than one. Cut off nicely by Carson Fagan. He brings the throw in. They have a chance. Here comes the throw. The tag. Safe. I don't know. Bang, bang play at second. He didn't have a whole lot of speed getting there. Wildcats got the ball in quickly, but it's a leadoff double, and that's the go-ahead run, the winning run at second base with nobody out.
Yeah, it was going to be a close play, and Hayworth out of the box was thinking double the whole way. Good play by the left fielder there. Cheverton at second kind of had to go get the ball at the bag and kind of had to spin and turn to try and tag Hayworth. Unfortunately, I kind of thought he was safe as well. We're going to get a little timeout meeting here from Dobyns-Bennett.
Cam Welch is the right fielder. I was kind of screened by it. There's a pole right here in front of me, but I should have been able to see. Cam's maybe the biggest guy on the Oak Ridge team, and he is in right field. Warren's still in center, and Brooks Poteet is over in left field. So the winning run is at second base. We're in the 8th inning. That was hit number 6 for the home team Indians. And more importantly, that is the winning run at second base.
Yeah, it is, and nobody out. Let's see, we're going to have the 5-hole TJ Maxwell, who is 0 for 3 with a couple flyouts and a pop-out. So TJ is looking for his first hit. And I wonder if that little visit we saw from Dobyns-Bennett, could they maybe put a bunt on here? Because this hitter, Maxwell, struggled so far. So I could see a bunt here.
Kind of thought maybe they might walk him to set up a force play because his run means nothing. And Carson Fagan, his second inning of work, his first full inning, hopefully. He works from the stretch, the pitch, inside and low. 1 ball, no strikes. I really thought they would walk him, actually, to set up a force at, third, second. But Wildcats electing to pitch to him. It's a righty versus lefty. Runner at second. Carson Fagan checks the runner, the pitch. Hit in the air left side. Brooks Poteet over, and he's under it, and he makes the catch for out number 1. So a fly ball out to left field. Brooks moving over from right field, and that is the first out in the inning. And it's good work there by Carson. Next.
Yeah, a little bit of an unproductive out there for the Dobyns-Bennett hitter there, Maxwell. This will be Caden Cutlip, who has a pair of flyouts to center field and a walk.
Another lefty, and they're going to walk him. They're going to go ahead and put him on. So going to put the left-hander on base, so they'll have runners at first and second. And, yesterday we saw Greenville walk Mikey Teasley intentionally to load the bases to face Joseph Webb, and 1 pitch later it was deposited over the fence. And I don't know, I asked somebody, I can't remember who it was, it might have been Joseph, one time, do you get your feelings hurt, or does that fire you up if somebody intentionally walks you? Or somebody in front of you to get to you? And he said, yeah, it does fire me up, as they've got runners at first and second. 1 out here in the 8th inning. Extra innings from Kingsport.
Well, I think for me, if you intentionally walk me, if you hold up the 4 and tell me to go to first, for me personally, that wouldn't fire me up. But if you hit somebody intentionally, which is what you're referencing, that would get the dugout going, and that would irritate me as a player.
2-2 our score. Runners at first and second, but good stop by Parker. And with this, all the foul territory behind the plate, Parker, who does great work anyway at catcher, and I would expect Parker will not catch the second game. I would expect to see either probably Kipton maybe, or Durigi, Max. 1-0 pitch, cut on a miss. A lot of velocity there from Carson Fagan, and the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. We're in the 8th inning, extra innings here at Kingsport. Got a doubleheader. It seems never fails when you got 2 ball games. We have a long one. Dobyns-Bennett trying to end it right here. They've got the winning run at second base. 1 ball, 1 strike. Carson Fagan comes to the plate. Hit in the air on the infield. That should be an out. Somebody calling for it. It's going to be Noah Wood, the shortstop. Makes the catch for out number 2. So after a leadoff double, Carson has rallied to get the next 2. They've got runners at first and second, but there are 2 outs now.
This will be the 8-hole hitter, the left fielder, Jalen Thomas, who is 1 for 3, single back in the second.
Braylon Payne started this ball game. He left when the Wildcats were trailing 2-1. Parker Free hit a home run with 2 outs in the 7th inning to send us to the bottom of the 7th. The Wildcats and Indians still playing here in the 8th inning. Hit means a run, perhaps. Carson comes to the plate. There's a called strike. Bounced in front of the plate. Parker kept it in front of him, and the count is 0-1. Carson Fragan trying to get the 3rd out and send us to the 8th inning. 1 strike the count. Carson comes to the plate. Pitch, hit foul. Back to the screen, and he's ahead 0-2. Lee Wexler is doing our book, and he'll does some. Oh, we have a balk? Catcher's interference. Okay, thank you. I looked away, and I saw the runner going to first, and now they have the bases loaded. Wow. I looked away. I thought we were going to have an 0-2 count. No argument from the Oak Ridge side of things. Now it really is on the Wildcat catcher, Parker Free. Catcher's interference. Bases full of Indians here in the 8th inning. 2 outs, and who looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter.
Yeah, no argument from Parker Free or the dugout. I think Parker Free even knew it. Catcher's interference. I didn't see it. I just saw the ball fouled straight back, and I believe Liam Stilton is what the PA guy just said. Bases loaded, 2 outs here. This is a big moment here in the game.
Bases full of Indians, 2 outs, 8th inning, 2-2 our score. Thank you for watching our audio broadcast. If you just tuned in, Dobyns-Bennett does not allow video streaming of their ball games, so that's why we've gone with the scoreboard and the audio only. Bases full of Indians, a wild pitch, pass ball hit of some sort. There's a called strike on the outer half of the plate. He is a left-hander. He is a big guy. Bats from the left side. He falls behind. No balls and 1 strike. Carson Fagan needs an out right here to send us to the 8th inning. 1 strike pitch. Cut on, foul tipped. That ball was kind of riding in on him, Lee. And they're going to say catcher's interference, and that's how the game ends.
Coach Free's going to argue, but David, I think I saw it that time. They're going to say catcher's interference, and that is incredibly unfortunate. The way this game has gone, the game's going to end on back-to-back catcher interference calls. I didn't see the catcher's interference a batter ago. This time, Parker Free's going to argue.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's your ball game.
I did see it that time. What they're going to argue here, David, is that the batter intentionally had a big swing, but I did see. I think I saw it that time.
Either way, that's the game. Dobyns-Bennett wins it on back-to-back catcher's interference after what was a fantastic ball game. A fantastic ball game. It ends on a bizarre play like that. You just don't see that happen, and Dobyns-Bennett wins it by a score of 3-2. The two teams are shaking hands. Why don't you give the scoring totals? We're going to have to set up a new stream for the second game, but tough way after a really great ball game for it to end. Bizarre way to end, and Dobyns-Bennett wins.
Yeah, and you almost never see catcher's interference calls ever, and we just saw it called back-to-back moments right there. Well, anyway, let's run down the Oak Ridge lineup as they fall to Dobyns-Bennett 3-2 in, I guess, catcher's interference walk-off fashion. Looking at the Oak Ridge lineup, they were only able to scratch across 2 runs. It was Parker Free's home run in the top of the 7th with 2 outs in the top of the 7th that tied the game. Warren East was 1 for 3 with a hit by pitch and a single. Parker Free 2 for 4 with a home run in the 7th. Mikey Teasley was 1 for 4 with a single back in the 7th. Joe Webb 0 for 3 with a walk. Carson Fagan 1 for 4. Brooks Petit 1 for 4. Jaden Cheverton was 1 for 2 with a pair of walks. Cam Welch was 1 for 2 with a single, a hit by pitch and a walk. Noah Wood, the 9-hole, was 0 for 3 so far. Looking at the pitching, and I'll have to get Carson Fagan's stats. I may have to look at it just as I'm sitting here. Braylon Payne, 5 2/3, 2 strikeouts, 3 walks, and 5 hits. Gave up 2 runs. Jaden Cheverton coming in let's see, got 2 outs, a strikeout, no walks, no hits, no runs. Carson Fagan will ultimately take the loss here. Came in the 7th, gave up, as I'm looking at my book, I'm doing this as I am speaking here. Carson Fagan came in and got 1, 2, 3 in the 7th, no hits, gave up a walk in the 7th and was able to force a double play. Carson Fagan there in the 8th inning gave up a double, got a pop out to short and a fly out, and really not Carson Fagan's fault, David, but I've never seen anything like that. 2 catcher's interference calls back-to-back to end the game. I've never even seen 2 in a game. I don't know when the last time I've seen 2 in a game. Now, unfortunately, and we'll probably talk with Coach Free or Parker at some point today, I thought I saw it there at the end, that final catcher's interference, because I thought I heard it. But that first catcher's interference, I didn't hear it or see it. But so we'll probably ask Coach Free. Coach Free was absolutely livid there at the conclusion of the game. That's not the way you want to end the game. But Oak Ridge had plenty of opportunities, David. They left at least, I think, 7 guys on base, a ton of guys on base, only 2 runs to show for it. Let's see. The starting pitcher was Braylon Payne. I thought through an outstanding game, through 5 2/3. His offense really didn't show up for him. His offense only gave Braylon 1 run, but Parker Free was able to tie the game there in the 7th, so better late than never. That's Oak Ridge's, I believe, 3rd loss of the year. And, it's one of those games where I guess maybe you're glad you get to turn around and play again. They're going to play an Elder, Ohio team out of Cincinnati. And those are kind of the final stats and thoughts here. And Dobyns-Bennett did not allow us to video stream. And I believe we're going, I don't want to get too ahead of myself. David will call the shot here. We are going to set up a video stream for the ball game against Elder, Ohio. David is consulting with his young high schoolers here, Preston and Oliver, on how we're going to set up. I'm going to pass the microphone over to David. He's going to explain how we're going to do this next setup, and David might give you his next thoughts. But we are going to video stream the next ball game here, which is supposed to begin at 7.
Yeah, we're going to video stream, as Lee said. We'll have the cameras working. We'll be able to show it just a tough way. And I don't know that I've ever seen Coach Free as mad as he was. Obviously, there's a couple reasons. Obviously, you lose the ball game. Obviously, his son's the catcher. And a game which was played so well. Such a great game to watch, extra innings to lose on 2 plays like that. And I'm not saying that Dobyns-Bennett practices that, but maybe they do, because that's back-to-back plays there at the end. And they brought in a pinch hitter, and I don't know.
In my entire career, and again, I only played from when I was 5 to 18, I never had a catcher's interference call against me. Anyone who might not know what catcher's interference is, David, that is when the batter goes to swing and the batter's bat, as he's swinging, makes contact with the catcher's glove, and they award the batter first base. Doesn't matter what the count is. Doesn't even matter if the ball's put in play, fouled back, or it's a swing and a miss. If the batter swings the bat and it hits the catcher's mitt, they award the batter first base. Well, in that case, the bases were loaded, so the batter's awarded first base, and the run came in. So I've never seen a game end like that. I've never seen that before.
Final score of the ball game: the Wildcats fall 3-2. Okay, here's what happens now. Since we had to do with the audio only, we have to go to a different stream. We'll probably be about 20 minutes away from the start of the ball game, maybe 30. So what time is it now? It is right at 7:04. We'll probably come back on the air anywhere from 7:20 to 7:30 with the live broadcast. Oak Ridge taking on Elder out of Ohio. That about does it for this ball game. Thank you for listening to our broadcast. My name is David Clary, Lee Wexler, Preston Fetters, and Oliver Poggle. Come back with us in about 20 to 30 minutes for Oak Ridge and Elder. So long, everybody.